What the f- Oh. What the fuck are you saying, Ron? I'm doing a little bit of drawing today, or a little bit of drawing of like you know. Yeah. We're doing a little bit of silly time, silly draw. Hi. Oh my gosh, is that the puppy one? My dog. God. God. You guys should follow Puppy, you know? What is that? Is that a pup? Yeah. I follow Pup. Good. Good. Can't follow 2 times? Well, make an alt and follow her again. You play Valorant? Oh my god, have you lost your mind? Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. There's a new video that I want to watch, by the way. Help me, please. Save me. She gave me a 5 out of 10 review. She gave me a 9 out of 10. I feel very happy. Wow. Hi, Stilcho. Hi, Meow. Hi, Levi. Hi, Seven. Hi, Rod. Hello. I am practicing making reference sheets. So that's what I'm doing today. We're making a, I love you. Oh my god, I love you. I bought an OC. So we're gonna be working on a reference sheet for her. This is her. She's very cute. She is very cute. Isn't she super cute? Okay. Maybe future marixa outfit. Maybe. But we're gonna try and fix this because there are some issues with it that I do not like. Like how she looks so very tall and her head looks very short. It's not puppy. It's not puppy. uh, but yeah, it is a puppy. Let's see. Oh no, it's a puppy. It's a puppy. So let's see. I do not want to. Happen. No. I will put on something we can listen to. Dude. Can this work? I just feel like her head was very short, you know? Oh, okay. Don't worry. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet of you. I'm probably only gonna be streaming like an hour or so. I just didn't want to be sitting all alone. You know what I mean? I don't wanna. I don't wanna be sitting all alone. We're gonna be watching a video though called "Mysteries of the Internet." Because I feel like if I stay alone, I'm just gonna end up getting sad, and I don't wanna be sad. So I won't be sad. Because I'm gonna be hanging out with you guys. I was thinking about maybe doing a stream tomorrow because Dragon probably works tomorrow, so probably gonna do a stream tomorrow as well. Even though I don't normally stream on is it a holiday tomorrow? Memorial Day? Maybe. Maybe. Watch this. Mysteries of the Internet.
It's the 22nd of November, 2019. A Ring doorbell begins recording as a young girl approaches a home in the Harriet Creek Ranch neighborhood of Texas. It's pitch black out and the girl is seen all alone, which by itself is strange enough, but it's moments later that this footage becomes truly concerning.
I think I've seen this video. Like, not this video. Like, this Ring camera video.
She was begging for help, pounding her hand against the door, all the while continuously turning her head around, as if she was expecting someone to come up behind her. The footage then comes to an abrupt end, only to start again seconds later. But this entire
Dude, that
time,
was scary.
no one answers that door. The wait was just too unbearable for the child, as she then took off. Yelling incoherently in the street before running out of view of the camera. Frustratingly, this footage was only viewed by the homeowner well after the fact, and reports seem to indicate that this was a property that they rented out rather than lived in, with it being unoccupied on that night. But after seeing the video, the homeowner immediately contacted law enforcement and shared the video online in the hopes that more information would come forward, as it seems that neither they nor the police had any idea who this child was or why she needed help. But since these clips were first shared, these questions have still yet to be answered, at least publicly, as there have been no updates from law enforcement. Along with this, there have been no accounts from neighbors about the incident or any footage from other homes in the neighborhood, perhaps implying that this was her one and only stop of the night. It's like after this footage, this girl dropped off the face of the earth.
Dude, I hate that picture. Get that off my screen, please.
To this day, leaving us with only theories. The first and most popular theory is that this girl was an escaped victim of kidnapping, or perhaps an abusive household, and had run to the closest home to ask for help. We've seen situations like this many times before, with the most popular example at the moment being the case of Ruby Frankie, whose son escaped their house and ran to their neighbor for help.
Oh, that's what we watched last time.
Taking me to the nearest police station. Well, actually, just one's fine.
This certainly falls in line with this girl's behavior, as she was clearly scared about someone or something following her, hence why she kept looking back. And given that there have been no updates to this case, and that seemingly no one else saw her that night, it would indicate that whoever she was running from had recaptured her shortly after. And what makes this theory even more horrifying is that many online users believe that this girl isn't the only person shown in this footage.
Help, please.
As in the background, some can see what appears to be movement behind the bush, and potentially even a figure.
Please help.
And this just so happens to be the direction that this girl is looking in every time she turns back. almost like she knew someone was hiding there. Which brings us to our second theory, that this entire thing was a setup. The belief here is that this girl was coerced into going up to a stranger's home to beg for help, so that when this unsuspecting homeowner would open their door, those people who made the girl do this would then rush into the home and rob the person. This could explain why she was looking at that bush so frequently, as that's where this person or these persons would have been hiding, and she was looking to them for guidance, perhaps unprepared for the homeowner not to open their door. Both of these theories are disturbing in their own right, and both clearly indicate that this girl is in need of help, regardless of what the situation is. But still, there's been no confirmation as to whatever happened to this child, even despite the public interest. One of the biggest talking points online came from some theorizing that this girl might be Serenity Denard, a then 9-year-old girl who had gone missing in February of 2019 from a children's facility in South Dakota, who looked eerily similar to the child shown in this video. But in my research, I was able to find a Facebook post from one of Serenity's mothers, who shared that they were in fact aware of the video, and that they had actually contacted law enforcement about it. And in her post, she claims that investigators told her that the girl had been identified at some point, and that she had lived in that neighborhood, with there being no further elaboration as to why she was asking for help. This is quite literally one of the only updates I was able to find, but unfortunately it was one that I wasn't able to confirm, and it also fails to explain what exactly happened to this girl, leaving this footage and this entire scenario as one of the many mysteries of the internet. Throughout my time here on YouTube, I've stumbled across some of the most frightening things on the internet, but one of the discoveries that scared me the most was my own personal information, just out there in the open on random sites that could be accessed by anyone. This is all because of data brokers who sold my information, making private things like my phone number available for anyone to see. But luckily I was able to combat this with the help of today's sponsor, Aura. They take care of the hard part and automatically remove your information from these sites, along with making sure that it stays off either. It started with a police chase. An officer parked alongside a highway in North Amsterdam had witnessed a black Mercedes speeding down the road and was now desperately trying to keep up with it. But the effort was to no avail, as the Mercedes would soon disappear from the officer's view. And when it would come back into view minutes later, it wasn't moving. It was instead left abandoned on the side of the road, the driver's side door hanging wide open, and the driver himself being nowhere to be seen, leaving that officer alone with the suspect's car, but no suspect. However, the vehicle hadn't been left entirely empty, as in the driver's rush to flee the scene, he had accidentally left his cell phone behind, and so the contents of this phone would be searched, which quickly led to the discovery of this driver's identity. But for investigators, there was a far more pressing finding on that device. A finding in the form of a minute-long video stored on the man's camera roll that indicated that this driver may have been involved in a crime far worse than just speeding. The footage was taken inside a different vehicle and showed an unseen driver holding up his cell phone alongside another man in the passenger seat. The camera was focused on a car in front of them, with both men seeming intent on catching up with it, as in the moments before this recording started, something had happened between them, which the men inside this car felt they had to get revenge for.
Voor ons net hebben brutaliteit met ons gemaakt. Deze mannen voor ons hebben net de brutaliteit. Run, maat, ze gaan weer run!
They referred to this unseen incident as an act of brutality by a group of men in this other vehicle, and by the looks of it, it's likely that this car had simply cut them off.
Wait, I need a... There you go. Perfect. Perfect.
As there was a freshly closed lane in the stretch of road at the time, which created an unexpected merge. And this is most likely what this group inside this separate car thought too, as they were showing no signs of road rage, and were instead just casually driving with the flow of traffic. However, it's clear that the men behind the camera felt differently, as in their minds, what this other driver had done to them was so awful that it was worthy of only one punishment: death.
What?
Gozer moeten boeten. Ja toch? Oké. Hoe je blokkeren? Ze gaan blokkeren, gaan ze pakken.
And so, this duo inched their vehicle closer and closer to this anonymous car, while continuing their rambling about this act of brutality. And when they finally positioned themselves next to the vehicle, the man in the passenger seat brandished a pistol and pointed it directly at the driver of this vehicle. The footage from here is incredibly shaky, and the window had been rolled down, causing the audio to peak and become distorted and indecipherable. Because of this, it's hard to say for sure what happens next, but it appears that the man holding the gun attempts to fire the weapon before pulling it back into the car, cocking the revolver once more, and firing again. To which both men erupt with laughter and begin celebrating, before the recording stops. Based on the footage, it's unclear what happened to the driver of this vehicle or the other occupants, and finding this information became priority 1 for law enforcement. In their research, they determined that this video was shot on May 12, 2014, at around 9:40 p.m., 1 full month before they had stumbled upon it, and it had been taken on the A1 highway near entrance 2101. And yet, when they checked their files to match this information with any of their cases, they realized that there was no record of this incident. This crime had never so much as been reported, despite it seeming to depict a shooting in the middle of a busy highway. To make matters more confusing, police were able to track down the men who took this video and carried out the actual attack, and yet neither of them claimed to know what happened to the people that they shot at, and both refused to elaborate any further, leaving investigators in a strange position. They had undeniable proof of a crime, one that at the very least was attempted murder, and they also had their suspects. They just didn't have any victims. And so they studied the footage even more, which is when they made a disturbing revelation about these victims.
Is
Throughout the
Puppy not
video,
streaming
the perpetrators refer to
today?
the people within this car as a group of men. And while the footage we have today has the occupants' faces blurred, they were able to conclude that the driver was in fact a man. However, they discovered that the passenger next to him is clearly a woman wearing a headscarf. And most shocking of all, in the backseat was what appeared to be a child, meaning that they had been shooting at what, in all likelihood, was a family. Police released this video to the public later that year under
She's
the
on
name
live right
Amsterdam
now.
Sheet Incident Ringway A10,
Aw.
or Amsterdam Shooting Incident on Ring Road A10, where they revealed this footage but disguised the voices and faces of the perpetrators for unknown reasons. And in releasing this, they asked the public to come forward with any information that could help identify this family. They asked for witnesses on the scene, car repair shops that may have fixed a car with bullet holes, any hospitals that had shooting victims on or around that day, and most importantly, they asked for the family inside this car to come forward, as without their testimony, convicting these men was nearly impossible, as it wasn't fully clear what crime they'd even committed. That was 11 years ago. And to this day,
Hi
no one
David.
has come
Hi.
forward,
My day's
leaving
going
us
good,
with
thank
only
you. How are you
theories.
doing? How's your day going?
The first theory is that the people shot at in this footage may have been undocumented immigrants, or perhaps one of them had a warrant out for their arrest, meaning that if they were to report this crime, or if they were to have gone to the hospital with a bullet wound, then police would have certainly got involved, and in turn they would have gotten in trouble as well, essentially forcing them to stay quiet as saying anything would
What
put
are
their
you
freedom
watching?
in jeopardy.
I'm watching Mysteries
Another
of the
theory is
Internet.
that the shots may have simply missed the vehicle, and the driver decided not to report it, with some believing that this whole situation was no big deal. But to me, this doesn't seem like something that would be so easily brushed off, especially because a child is involved, though it is possible that perhaps this family was afraid to report the crime, as they clearly knew how dangerous these men were, and feared that reporting this crime would only further put a target on their backs. And finally, there's the theory that this weapon never fired at all. This is where the audio peaking becomes a major factor, as it's extremely difficult to make out the sound of gunshots, as the gun was literally outside of the vehicle when it was seemingly being fired. But it is worth noting that investigators working the case seemed confident that the weapon fired at least once, and I also personally hear a distinct popping sound at the end. But it's hard to say for sure. And it also is possible that this group was using blanks, with this all being an attempt to trick the other driver into thinking that he was in danger. But even with these theories, we still have no idea the fate that befell this family, and it's clear that they have no desire to come forward, for reasons we just don't know. Which leaves the Amsterdam shooting video an internet mystery that may never be solved. Urgent, I need help, please. We are from BSAS West Zone, Castelar, San Juan neighborhood. Her name is Emma
Otter's
Rosario
live,
Kalk,
let's watch
who's
her.
been missing since Friday, June 12th. If you saw her, please call. Any information will be
I
appreciated.
haven't watched her in a long time, actually.
This post was made to the subreddit
I think last time I watched her, she
r/Argentina
played
on
like
June
Dark
16th,
Souls.
2020, by a user named
Or maybe it was
u/Naram
Riva I
Naram,
was watching?
who asked for the public's
I
help
don't
in
know.
finding a missing woman named Emma Kalk. And in the comments, he would offer more context, saying, "She went out to buy something and never came back. She was last seen here in the neighborhood. Sanchez and Pavan is the area where she went to buy something. She was dressed in the clothes that she's seen in the photo. She was carrying her wallet with her ID and a cell phone."
What's happening here?
Quickly, the post was inundated with concerned citizens wanting to help in the matter, with the gravity of the situation being made even greater, as earlier that day, Naram had made a similar post, which revealed that Emma Kalk was actually his mother. This revelation only made the post more important, as people left comments offering support and encouragement, with many even providing advice on how he could potentially track her down, to which Naram seemed genuinely grateful. Across the entire internet, this seems to be the first post ever made on Emma's disappearance, but it would be far from the last, as people spread this information far and wide almost immediately after Naram's post, which was also followed by several local news reports, which proved that Emma was in fact a real person and was in fact missing, with these articles mentioning something that her son had not, that she was feared to have been taken. The only thing we know for sure is that she went into her house, left her bike, and for some reason went out but did not come back in. Apparently, she did not leave on purpose, and that is what worries us the most. Things were clearly very concerning, and the tension of the situation only increased as a day passed, and then too, with Naram vowing to keep everyone updated on the status of the search. And sure enough, right after this update, Naram's missing mother would finally be found. The worst news, Emma Rosario Kalk was murdered. She had been missing since June 12th. Her son killed her with stab wounds and then buried her in the backyard of his house. He was arrested. Rest in peace, Emma. Emma Kalk had been found dead, murdered and buried in her own backyard, with the perpetrator allegedly being her own son, Daniel Kalk, who had confessed to stabbing her once in the chest and then twice in the head before burying her body in the backyard, with a motive never being given. The ending to Emma's search was disturbing, but perhaps the most shocking part was the revelation that she was killed by her own son, 20-year-old Daniel Kalk, which immediately called into question Naram's Reddit post, as he had claimed to be Emma's son, leading many to wonder, was Naram the killer? And so, desperate for clarification, someone commented, "By any chance, are you 20 years old?" To which Naram actually responded, writing simply, 25, before eventually leaving the following explanation. "Apparently it was my brother. That's what the police said when they declared the crime." This would mean that when Naram had been making these pleas to find his mother, in reality not only was she already dead, but she had been killed by his own brother, and buried in their backyard. It's one of the most chilling things I've ever come across on Reddit, but the intrigue of this case doesn't exactly end here, as there was something about Naram's story that wasn't quite adding up. Just days before the disappearance of his mother, he had left a comment on an unrelated post saying, "When I was 8 years old, I wanted to ride a bicycle without hands, according to me because it was easy. I was on the street, dirt, and I let go of the handlebars, and here I am at 19 years old, with the handlebars marked on my abdomen." In his own words, Naram wasn't 25, but instead 19 years old, and potentially 20 years old by the time his mother was found, which put him at the exact age range as Daniel Kalk. This prompted a wave of speculation and confusion and spawned the enduring mystery: who exactly is Naram? While making things even stranger, digging deeper into his posting history, you can find another comment where he claims to have been working the same job for 6 years, which seemed to contradict the idea of him being 20, thus prompting even more confusion, which eventually caught Naram's attention, who responded by stating, "I didn't write that. It must have been my brother. I don't use this social network. I only used it twice for a work issue and now because my mother disappeared. This account
Must have been my brother."
This recounting of events made Naram's initial story even more twisted, as if this was true, then not only was it his own brother that killed the mother he was looking for, but he was literally using that same brother's account. And again, this gets stranger. Around the same time, Naram would thank the internet for its help on the case, and then proceed to swiftly disappear, leaving the account untouched for over 2 years. But this silence would be broken in 2022 when they suddenly returned, with their posts being slightly unhinged, gloating about their internet status and bizarrely lashing out at random users who questioned him on his past and present motives. And in these ramblings, he would drop the bombshell that he wasn't actually Emma's son. He now claimed to be Daniel's best friend, writing that he allowed Daniel to make the post on his account to spread the news about his mother's disappearance, which he was completely unaware that Daniel himself had caused. This was the last real update in this case, and it only threw more fuel on the fire of this mystery, with people wondering what version of events, if any, were true. When I hear about this case today, many seem to believe that the entire time Naram was actually Daniel Kolk, and he had made this post to make it seem like he was searching for his mother, and perhaps to even use any given advice to help conceal what he did. As remember, many were offering suggestions on how to find her, which Daniel in turn could have used to essentially do the exact opposite, to help make sure that she was never found. This is tricky because the account posted briefly after Daniel was supposedly arrested. However, the status of this case is entirely unknown to this day, as there have been no updates as to whether or not Daniel was actually charged, with some choosing to believe that this was him the entire time, and perhaps he was even held in prison for a few years before being released, thus explaining his 2-year absence. Another theory is that Naram was initially telling the truth, and that he was Daniel's brother, and that he was simply using the account to spread word of his mother's disappearance, before eventually abandoning it. And perhaps the most recent posting on this account was because it may have been hacked, which would explain the massive tone shift. Or maybe it's the most recent version of events that's the right one, and that this is actually Daniel's best friend. But why initially lie? And how do you explain the apparent inconsistencies in his age that are found throughout his posts? This entire internet mystery is one of the messiest I've ever come across, and nothing seems to make any sense, with the most inexplicable part being the very real murder at its core. A mother who was killed by her own son for no apparent reason, and given the lack of updates, it's hard to know if justice was ever served. It took several months for Angeline Pete's family to report her as missing. She had a long history of leaving home for extended periods of time, running off to join the circus and hitchhiking rides all across the Vancouver area, before eventually returning home to her normal life. But this time it felt different. None of her friends or family had heard from her since May of 2011, and it was now nearing the end of summer. This was especially odd considering that Angeline was known to be constantly texting, as well as updating her Facebook profile, with that profile now sitting completely dormant. But within that page filled with your typical selfies and normal life updates, there was one post that stood out, the final post she ever made. This photo was posted without context on May 20th, 2011, a day that just so happened to be the very last time that the vast majority of Angeline's friends and family members had heard from her. And when looking into the context of this image, her disappearance only becomes more concerning. That night, Angeline had been drinking with her fiancé Robert Calden in downtown Vancouver, and while the two were waiting to catch a ferry back home, something had sparked an argument, which eventually led to a full-on physical altercation. This fight caused such a stir that eventually police would arrive on the scene, where they noted that Angeline's lip had been busted, leading to them placing Robert under arrest. Though in the end, no charges would ever be filed, as Angeline refused to give officers a statement and instead insisted on just going home, which led to the whole thing seemingly being dropped. It was directly after this that Angeline would post this photo to her Facebook account without any sort of context, before proceeding to disappear into thin air. Her motivation for doing this isn't 100% known, but one could assume that she was trying to make a record of this attack, perhaps in case something were to happen to her. The timing of this is more than a little suspicious, and paints a horrifying picture of the potential fate of Angeline. That she had been murdered by Robert Calden as a result of their fight on the 20th of May. It's a case that seems as straightforward as it is disturbing, but that's only on the surface, as there was another factor at play here, as when the police stopped this couple from fighting on that fateful night, Robert wasn't the only one facing jail time. Angeline was no stranger to abuse. She had a long history of it herself, with her ex-boyfriend claiming to have suffered dozens of black eyes throughout their relationship, which had ended years prior. This violent behavior often stemmed from her trouble with alcohol, and Robert was clearly one and the same, with the two forming an extremely toxic relationship that often ended in one or both of them getting hurt. It was all too normalized for the pair, which was highlighted by one of Angeline's final texts, where she wrote,
I see you.
"Gee, my lip hurts. I hate him so much that I love him." Now, I do want to make it clear that this is in no way meant to come across as victim blaming, but this is vital information for this case, as Angeline's history with violence had landed her in prison numerous times, most recently in 2009 when she was arrested for getting into a massive bar fight. This arrest in particular is noteworthy, as it carried with it multiple conditions, one of which was that Angeline was given a 9 p.m. curfew, and the other was that she was not allowed to drink, with both of these conditions being broken on the night of May 20th, when police intervened in her and Robert's fight. This meant that Angeline was now likely going to be reincarcerated, and sure enough, that same night, officers arrived at her home to question her on the matter, but she failed to answer the door, which led to a warrant being made for her arrest 5 days later on May 25th. That day, a squad car pulled up to Angeline's apartment to bring her into custody, but when police entered the home, they would only find Robert, who just so happened to be on the phone with her. And officers claimed to have spoken with Angeline during that phone call, where they advised her to turn herself in, though she claimed that she was no longer in the area, and eventually hung up the phone. This would be the last time that officers would speak to Angeline Pete, and seemingly according to Robert, she returned home and left the very next day on the 26th, and never came back. This whole revelation muddies the water in this case, and provides us with our second theory, that Angeline Pete had run away to avoid reincarceration. But there's something unusual to me about this phone call with police. Now, there's hardly any information about this case online, but from all the articles that I've read, it seems that no one in Angeline's life had heard from her after this photo was taken, with the exception of Robert. And when police spoke with her, it was only over the phone. They too hadn't laid eyes on her since the night of May 20th, prompting some to wonder if Robert had arranged for some sort of decoy to make this phone call. Though however it happened, since that phone call, there has been no activity on any of Angeline's online accounts, and she has never deposited or spent a single cent from her bank account. From that point on, she's been essentially invisible.
Sus.
That was 15 years ago, and today we still have no concrete answers as to what happened to Angeline Pete, with some taking this as a sign that something sinister had in fact happened to her, as how can you go that long without leaving a trail, and without at least trying to come back? Especially in Angeline's case, as she was a mother. Angeline had a 7-year-old son who was by far the most important thing in her life. At the time she went missing, this child was staying with her father, Angeline's former partner, but she still played an incredibly active role in his life, and she wanted to be as involved as she possibly could be. And yet, after 15 years, she's made no attempts to try and reach out to him. Again, people have taken this as a sign that Angeline has perhaps been killed, and it isn't just Robert who they think might have done this, as some believe that she may have been killed by someone that neither they nor Angeline even knew. As I mentioned previously, Angeline had a habit of hitchhiking, and she was known to do so in a way that was overtly dangerous. And interestingly, there were some unconfirmed sightings of Angeline after she went missing, with some reportedly seeing her in Port Hardy and Grand Perrier, areas that she would have had to catch a ride to. Now again, these are totally unconfirmed sightings, but what's so chilling about this is that if she had been hitchhiking through those areas, then she likely would have found herself doing so along Highway 16, which is now known as the Highway of Tears. Without getting too deep into this stretch of road is notorious for its disproportionately high number of women who have gone missing on it, and especially Indigenous women, with Aboriginal organizations claiming that as many as 40 Indigenous women have been killed or kidnapped while on this stretch of road. And coincidentally, Angeline was an Indigenous woman herself, who may have found herself hitchhiking on that very road. Angeline's disappearance is one of those cases that you can convince yourself that every theory is right. But as of right now, there's just no way to know what truly happened to her. And while this is an internet mystery for us, for Angeline's family, this couldn't be more real. Many of them are suspicious about Robert and believe that police didn't do a good enough job investigating him, as he was never even considered a suspect. But they also hold on hope that Angeline is still alive and out there somewhere, and they'll often hold events and vigils to keep her name in the spotlight, and to assure she knows that she can always come back home. And it's this hope that has fueled her son since she disappeared, as all throughout his childhood he played hockey as a way of helping to find her, with one family member saying, "That's why he wants to play hockey. So if he gets famous, his mom will find him."
Crazy. Dude, this one was uploaded 2 hours ago?
Fifth alarm. Working structure fire. 7741 Liberty Road Drive.
It's 9 a.m. on May 18th, 2024. Residents of Charlotte, North Carolina wake up to the smell and sight of black smoke billowing up into the sky. The source: a massive 7-story apartment complex home to 239 luxury units, or at least what should have been luxury units. At the time, the structure was still under construction, meaning that thankfully no residents were living there. But this in and of itself presented two major problems. The first was that, in its current state, the top 5 floors were primarily just the bones of the structure, made almost entirely of wooden insulation, making the building as a whole extremely flammable, meaning that although the fire had started out relatively small, it was quickly going to consume the entire complex if it wasn't put out quickly. Which brings us to the second and even more glaring problem. The building was actively under construction when the fire started, and that morning 17 construction workers had clocked in, all of whom were now in grave danger. And by the time the firefighters arrived on the scene, the situation was already dire. And so firefighters rushed in, finding a large group of the employees and leading them out to safety. Though when they made it outside, they made the horrifying realization that they had only found 15 of them. Somewhere within that labyrinth of burning wooden walls, 2 men were left behind, trapped and calling out to anyone who might hear them. And these pleas weren't just being made to those on the scene, as in the following minutes, one of the trapped men, 30-year-old DeMonte Sherrill, would take out his phone, open up Facebook, and go live, revealing the horrifying reality that both he and his friend had found themselves in.
Somebody send help, we're in South Park. Help!
Today, we're going to be showing our friends the basics of the internet, and we thought you might want to come along.
You gotta do it now or never.
If you own a computer, here's how to get the most out of it. Watch this, watch this, watch this.
Yo, I'm at South Park right now. At work, the building on fire, and I can't get out.
The stream showed DeMonte Sherrill and his friend Ruben Holmes somewhere deep within the prospective apartment complex, and though the fire hadn't yet reached them, the smoke certainly had, blanketing them in a thick, impenetrable fog, not only making breathing extremely difficult, but also making it nearly impossible for rescuers to see them.
It's getting harder and harder for them to see us. We're gonna have to stand out here and see. The building on fire, I'm trapped inside, me and my man.
This was likely one of the reasons why DeMonte chose to start this livestream, hopeful that it could show rescuers exactly where they were. But based on the footage, their positioning was far from ideal. They were on the second highest floor, floor 6, which had only one access point, a single stairway that was on the complete opposite side of the building. And based on their testimony in the footage, something had clearly blocked their path to that one remaining exit, meaning that the only other way out would be to jump. Though at 6 stories in the air, and falling into what would likely be the heart of the fire, this would have meant certain death. There was quite literally nowhere for them to go. Rescue was their only hope.
Yo, this building is on fire. I'm at work. Somebody send help, we're in South Park.
Seemingly realizing this, DeMonte began to grow more desperate, yelling out into the void of smoke, while Ruben can be seen in the background waving his phone flashlight, with both men doing anything they could to help rescuers find them. Before
Help!
the stream abruptly ends. Rescuers were aware of the unfolding situation on the 6th story. They first tried to reach the men by using a massive crane with a basket attached, which can actually be seen in DeMonte's livestream. Though in it, you can see that it's also facing the complete wrong direction, as the smoke was just that impenetrable. However, at one point, it's believed that the crane operator did actually see these men, but the blaze was just too extreme, leading to the operator himself having to be rescued. This left only one real option for saving DeMonte and Ruben. They were going to have to go in after them. And so they climbed that stairway up to floor 6 and started their trek to the opposite end of the structure. Though before they could even make it halfway, the rescuers were relegated to a slow crawl, as the inferno around them raged more and more intensely, and the smoke grew thicker and thicker, though that's when they began to hear screaming. Somewhere lost in that maze, Ruben and DeMonte were yelling as loud as they could for help. This sound was a sign that they were getting close, though just then rescuers would be met with another sound.
All companies working 7741 Liberty Road Drive, evacuate structure per command. All companies working 7741 Liberty Road Drive, evacuate structure.
Command all companies, this will be defensive at this time. We'll be ready for this side to collapse. Everybody get out of the collapse zone. Confirming you are coming out, but you're not out of the building.
With the order being made for all of them to evacuate, as by this point, the structure was engulfed in flames, and a collapse was imminent. The firefighters tried to call out to the two in one last attempt to guide them towards rescue, but they never came. In fact, at that point, the structure fell eerily silent. They would leave that structure without DeMonte or Ruben, and minutes later, the fire consumed the entire building, with the temperature inside reaching 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Before...
Damn, that's insane.
It collapsed.
Hi, Napkin.
It would eventually
Hello.
topple to the ground. And inside, DeMonte and Ruben would become the sole fatalities of this catastrophe.
Yo, I'm at South Park right now, at work, and the building on fire, and I can't get out. It's getting harder and harder for them to see us.
Knowing how this story ends would make this live stream difficult for anyone to watch. But what I find most upsetting about it is that the majority of those who initially watched this were his own friends and family that followed him on Facebook, with these viewers including his own mother. And a lot of them probably had no idea he even worked this job, as he had just been hired that week. His brother had also caught the stream as it was happening and actually rushed over to the scene where he pleaded with the firefighters to watch the footage.
This man screamed for help online.
But despite doing the best they could, there was just too much working against them to save DeMonte and Ruben. Following an investigation into the fire, it was discovered that the crew was using an organic foam
First time you're welcome
insulation, which was known
in.
to be extremely flammable and produce thick black smoke.
When
And this
today.
became deadly when the machine used to spray that insulation caught fire, sending the whole building up in flames, where they had yet to install any sort of smoke detector or alarm system to alert the crew of a fire. Making matters worse, there had been a temporary set of stairs made right where the two men had been trapped, but that stairwell had just been removed in order to make way for the permanent set of stairs. Because of this and a myriad of other issues, the companies involved with this construction were forced to pay a fine of $50,000 and are currently being sued by the families of both victims. But regardless of the outcome, nothing will ever make up for the loss of DeMonte Sherrill and Ruben Holmes. Things were getting concerning. Johnny Cashman spoke to his family nearly every single day, but now, on the 6th day without receiving any communication from him, they knew that something was wrong. Johnny lived in Lynchburg, Virginia, hundreds of miles away from his home in Maine, and so, being unable to check on him themselves, they called police in the area and requested a welfare check. Police entered Johnny's apartment on the 19th of April, 2022, and hours later, they would call his parents with the news that they had found their son dead on the floor. According to the officers, Johnny had experienced some sort of medical event that led to GI bleeding that ultimately claimed his life. But this—
Hello? Hey, nice to meet you, man.
This
So do you know the crazy girl that was yelling at me in my last video?
Run!
You just tell me to run?
Bah! Run! Bah! Run!
I'm
Apparently
sorry,
I wasn't the one who recorded
Levi,
them.
if you're
They believe
here.
It was one of their friends who was working with me. I'm not sure why they believe that, but I think it would be hilarious to run with it. Go with the lie.
I'm gonna find them. I feel like I've like heard you on YouTube before.
Fuck, I'm sorry, Levi.
Do you by chance watch someone called Proximity Chat? What some dickhead in this group decided to do was take a video of me having an anxiety attack and send it to Proximity Chat for them to put on YouTube.
Yeah, it was Siren. It was the person named Siren. They told us that.
Excuse me, what? Stay right there, stay right there. Where the fuck is Siren? Because Siren's just been going around telling people in here that I'm on fucking YouTube. So you can tell Siren to
First
get your fucking ass in
reminder
here
we
right now.
craft.
Siren, get your fucking ass
Yes,
here
sir.
now. Siren, don't fucking run away. What do you mean? Going around telling people about the fucking YouTube video that I'm in.
I'm not.
You know what? This is for your own fucking good.
Didn't.
You're banned from the fucking group, and I will be telling Jack that you are to never fucking return.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, I've just fucking banned Siren. She's banned. She's not fucking coming back ever again. And you can fucking tell Jack that I said so because that is fucking out of hand. She's saying, "Oh, I don't know nothing about no VGO. I haven't done nothing about it." Yeah, she's going around fucking telling people about it. Right, as of now, Siren is fucking banned. She's never to return to the group ever again. Permanent fucking exile.
What is going on?
Siren's been exiled because she's gone around telling everybody about the fucking YouTube video that was taken of me against my will. She says she knows nothing about it, and yet she's going around fucking telling people about the whole thing. Now I've got people coming up to me asking me about it, which is exactly what I said would fucking happen, isn't it? Do you mind not standing around watching? This ain't no fucking sideshow. Move the fuck along.
Wow. Feisty in here.
I confronted Siren about the fucking YouTube video that was taken of me, yeah? She's like, "Oh, sorry, I know nothing about it. I don't know about no video. I don't take videos of nobody."
Hello,
yeah, she's going
Sanka.
around in here fucking parading it about,
Are
letting
you?
everybody know about it and telling them all to go and watch it. And now I've got people running around all over the place coming up to me saying, "Hey, you're really familiar. Are you in a YouTube video?" I have never met this proximity chat or his other fucking account, so the only way he could have gotten a fucking video of me in a Friends Plus instance with me yelling at looks is if Tails and Siren were there recording the weird. Oh, Tails is banned and Siren is banned because they both took a video of me having an anxiety attack and sent it to a YouTuber to be put up on YouTube.
Oh my god!
And now they're going,
they did
and now they're
not
going around
do
telling everybody,
that!
"Yes, they fucking did! If you keep going on, I will fucking kick you for 1 hour from this bar."
You will not kick anyone.
They did
I'm
not
assistant
do
co-manager. I can kick if I want to kick.
that! He did not do that shit!
Yes, they fucking did. They admitted it to me.
This is what we've had to
They
deal with.
said it right to my fucking face.
Holy moly.
How do you fucking know? How do you fucking know?
He does shit!
Right, you want to fucking scream and shout at me? You can be gone for 1 hour.
So now we're gonna abuse power.
Abuse power? Jimmy, an abuse power?
Fuck
If someone
this
screamed and shouted
super
at you
bitch.
like they just fucking did, you'd fucking
They
kick
wasn't
them
just
too,
trying
mate.
to explain something to you.
And I was trying to explain to them, but they wouldn't fucking listen, and instead they wanted to fucking scream at me.
What did I just walk into?
It's all because of Trooper. It's only been crazy since Trooper's been here.
Corrupting everything. It's abusing
He
his
kicks
fucking power.
anybody.
Why do you guys keep him around?
I don't know why. It's just stupid.
When you act like that, you kind of deserve to get recorded.
Yeah, and that's why they're recorded.
I think someone's waiting to get in. My friend's here.
I'm honestly sick of this fucking shit. Every time I come into this fucking bar, someone wants to fucking start some goddamn crap for shit I ain't even fucking done.
Kick him! Kick him! Kick him! Kick him!
Sorry?
Now! Kick him now!
Okay, I kicked him, but do you want to maybe elaborate?
He's proximity chat's
That's a
that's one of
coincidence.
the associates.
Oh, is he one of proximity chat's accounts? Yeah, they're not fucking coming in here. But if they're here all of a sudden after we talked about all that shit, that's a fucking coincidence, isn't it? Now, do you believe me by fucking Siren taking them videos and sending them to Tails and then Tails giving them to proximity? Now, do you believe me? Because that's too much of a fucking coincidence right there. That is way too fucking coincidental. So clearly, Tails and Siren are in cahoots with this shit.
Oh my, Daniel just got kicked.
Immediately.
I was told to kick Zach. I was told to kick Zach. I was told to fucking kick him.
I mean, he's calm about any situation.
Do you want to fuck off and stop treating this like some kind of a fucking sideshow? Move the fuck along now, all of you. Can you all move the fucking there now and stop eavesdropping, else I'm going to start fucking kicking people left, right, center. Get in.
Yeah, this guy reminds me of like a dictator.
That's what I was thinking.
He's got my heart fluttering from fear a little bit.
And Captain quit, by the way.
What do you mean Captain quit? What?
Yeah, Captain quit.
Why the fuck did Captain quit?
You scared him away.
I like how it's not populated anymore.
Yeah, this guy literally scared everyone away or kicked them.
I was wondering why you're so hostile today.
I'm not hostile. Listen, there's problems in this group that have been going on for over a month now. I've basically just been chilling, doing my own thing, not going up at anyone. Because of such issues, I've had people from this group that have been going around recording people and sending the videos off to different people and getting them put up on YouTube without their consent. Someone recorded me without my consent of me having an anxiety attack and decided to post that on YouTube.
Did you try calming down when he was recording you?
No, he just sat there recording me.
Wow.
Did do nothing to help or nothing. Just stood there.
Should have taken your headset off then.
Yeah, should have just took their heads off. I was having a fucking anxiety attack.
Yeah, should have taken their heads
It
off.
doesn't exactly work during an anxiety attack.
It never seems to work for you.
Do you have a hobby to calm yourself down?
Playing video games.
Playing this game.
Can we not talk about it any further, please?
I don't like when you yell.
No, it is not yelling. Trust me, mate. If I was yelling at you, you'd fucking know about it.
Oh, we know. We saw it in the video.
What video? Okay, the energy I'm picking up off of that one. You sensing that, Max?
Who this one
I
is?
sense turmoil in that one. What's going on?
Would you say that shit to Jack?
What?
Who?
You told Jack.
Who are you talking about?
I do not know. What in the... Talk about a fucking head scratcher there.
Talking shit in here again.
What the hell?
What the hell? Who are you?
What's going on with you, man? What's going on here?
I swear to God, you told Jack.
What is going on here?
Would you like to talk about it? Breathe in. Breathe out.
Right.
You ain't getting anywhere if you get aggressive. I'm an empath, and I could tell you have a lot of aggression.
I'm confused as right now, pardon my French, but...
He told Jack.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm gonna eat you.
What is going on?
No violence. No violence, please.
I'm gonna eat him.
You mind,
Watch yourself.
what is it that you did that warranted that?
It's a secret. I can't say it.
What secret? What did I say? I never said anything to anybody. Okay. Relax, both of you.
The animal crackers.
I have no... You know what? I'm getting off because this is... No. I'm being accused of something I didn't do.
It's about the animal crackers.
Oh, what? Okay, he's lost it. I'm out of here. This shit's too crazy. Oh, come on. No, I'm not doing this. Look, man, I don't know what you're talking about, and I have no idea what's going on.
He told Jack that I stole my brother's animal crackers.
Are you crazy? I don't even know who your brother is. I've never seen you before in my life.
My animal crackers, you don't remember.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
My animal crackers.
What animal crackers? Oh my God, I'm out of here. I'm about to get off VR altogether. Dealing with this psychopathic bullshit.
He told Jack that I stole my brother's animal crackers.
What the fuck are you talking about? You know what? I'm getting out of here. I'm done. I'm fucking done. No, I'm leaving the VR altogether. No, I'm done with this game. I'm done. I'm leaving.
I was just playing around. I got that guy to rage quit.
What? Are you... What? That was a joke?
I can tell you this, Foxy, with Wolfman, that is not the way to fuck with him. I can promise you that.
Just confirm here. Does he have a way to vent that out, by the way? I'm just asking.
That stuff. Remember my ex? That
Pissed me off. More than pissed.
Wait, did I just hear the wolf guy scream?
Yeah, he's
I
still
do
pissed.
understand.
Gotta watch doing that, babes, because
I
that's gonna
mashed
propose.
her.
I can't.
Why is this guy yelling at you like that?
When he gets angry, he punches shit, which will cost me money in this apartment.
How old is he?
40s.
Why is he punching shit like that at 40, man? Come on.
This is going to take hours and hours and hours for him to calm down.
So he's like the Hulk, pretty much?
You know
I'll
the
say
Hulk?
this, the Hulk ain't got shit on him.
Can I tell you something, Fox?
Sure.
He's my master. He takes care of me.
Master / VR dad.
What does that, like, entail?
I am a mentor, per se, for this one. That is tasked with guiding that one and helping them mature. It also implies a bit of the sexual side of things as well, so...
Oh, you're back. I thought you quit.
No.
I was just playing around.
That is not the way to play with me.
I can't see. Can you come out of the dark? I can't see it too well in there.
There's a reason why I'm in here.
You okay?
What do you think?
Oh no, kill me.
This guy dressed as a panther?
No, it's a wolf.
Yeah.
It represents both me and Max's wolf form.
And
Shall I
when you
show
piss
him,
him
Max?
off, that's what you get.
I mean, are you in a polyamorous relationship?
On that, you're not wrong, but...
You growling at me, you motherfucker?
And the leader of...
This guy's growling at me. You don't growl at me, little boy.
Don't piss him off.
Tread lightly.
He's growling at me.
That means he's pissed off.
He's scaring the shit out of me.
Get out of my face! Now!
You need to calm down, little boy.
Shut the fuck up! Get the fuck out of my face! Now!
He stole my animal crackers.
I'm gonna you up. Get the fuck away!
You're 40 years old growling at me and punching holes in your wall.
Shut the fuck up, you little bitch! You're fucking with the wrong one! Better get the fuck away from me and away from her.
He said he was 17. It's 18 plus. So that's why he's not getting in.
Buddy, come on. Don't be shy. Come on.
Go on, Jonathan.
You can go in.
No way. Mom's doing it again.
No, I taking no life.
Buddy.
No! Not the guy letting fucking underage people
We have to
in.
talk about how old she is.
They run an 18 plus group, but they have a 14, 15-year-old in the group.
I know.
You're cuddling her?
She has just have fun.
She's my 3-year-old daughter. Leave her alone. Come here. Do you want a hug? Come here. Keep an eye out the front for us. Keep an eye out the front, the gate.
Alright, you have security. Could you keep an eye on the front for me?
Yeah, I'll keep this place on lock. We'll do a lap around the bar, make sure there's no nonsense going on.
I want.
Why can I not fucking hear?
What did you just say?
I said, why can I not hear? I'm recording,
the prison
and then I
cell.
can't hear any fucking.
Someone just admitted they're doing recording.
Well, that's not allowed here.
Put him in the jail cell, we'll talk to him.
So why were you recording? Are you a YouTuber or something?
No, I'm not a fucking YouTuber.
Just find a different lobby to troll if you're here to mess
I'm not
with people.
trolling.
Just apologize for trolling and maybe we'll let you off the hook.
I'm sorry for trolling, even though I didn't troll.
He admitted it.
Kick him.
Foxy and Goth, thank you for your help.
Hey, chill No out. problem.
They're literally trolling.
Goth and Foxy, we've got another one in jail. Go talk to them.
Stacy, if you're recording
this kid
without
right
the
here should be
consent of
killed.
other people, did you know that's a federal crime in the United States of America and also in many other nations in the world, including the United Kingdom, the Dominion of Canada, and the Republic of Mexico?
This guy right here sounds like a YouTuber.
Well, should we blow our cover now?
How do you want to blow our cover?
I'm
We were
sorry,
actually here
I'm
to do a private sting operation to figure out why there was a 14-year-old girl let in here by the co-owner of the server. If you couldn't tell by his voice,
Thank you,
that is,
Cyan.
in
Thank
fact,
you.
Proximity Chat, he's actually interested in getting your side of the story.
No, listen. The clip is just short clips. And I'm breaking the rules.
You are breaking the rules. We have multiple clips.
You are breaking the rules. We want your side of the story, so that way we can break it to the news and it's
She's
fair and balanced.
coming along, I guess.
He can just himself.
No, you don't mean that. Bob, you don't mean that.
Yes, I mean it. This fucking YouTuber guy is a fucking dick.
We're gonzo journalists, Bob. We're just trying to help you.
I
Dogs
swear
5
to God,
News.
I'm gonna
We just
remove
like
you.
dogs.
I'm gonna close this fucking server now.
No!
Make sure it's rolling.
I'm rolling the camera.
What the do you fucking want?
Excuse me, madam. No swearing, for one.
Fucking
This is a
video.
children's publication.
I
Please?
really don't fucking care.
Chill,
I really
buddy.
don't fucking care anymore. What
No
do
one
you
cares.
want?
We just need to talk to Bob, and Bob's running to you because he's a crybaby boy.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry, baby. My asshole, you fucking cunts.
There's some
What do you
questionable
want?
things going on here.
I don't fucking care. That video you put up
I'm gonna
is
ban him
bullshit.
instead.
You could argue that if I didn't see what I just saw today.
Buddy, that is like a long time ago. Forget it about that shit.
Dude, your friend was literally cuddling with
Forget
her.
it.
God, man.
Jesus.
Oh, damn. It's already? Sally, hi. Hello. Are you? What? I'm sorry, I'm not really talking much and stuff. I'm just drawing. I'm looking for something else to watch. I don't know what to watch. Hi, Sophie. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, it's GTA 4 takes a long time though. Like the like one game is like 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah, probably I get you if you're tired. But I'm happy you had a lot of fun.
26 disturbing internet trends, 7 levels. From kids openly vandalizing schools for online fame.
Okay, this is not the same.
Innocent people killed.
Oh, 48 minutes ago. I love Ewu.
This is a nice car, not a police car.
How old is he, kiddo? 5 years old. Someone tuned him up. Someone punched him a lot of times. Both eyes swollen, like they're only open. Still blood on his chin, blood on his nose.
On October 29th, 2023, 2 officers arrive at an apartment in Albuquerque, New Mexico to investigate a disturbing call from a concerned neighbor regarding a child with severe bruising. The case takes a shocking turn when officers witness the full extent of the child's injuries, escalating the situation
Oh
when
my
the person
god.
with answers
Thank you! I'm working and trying on learning how to make a reference sheet. So the coloring will not be super detailed or anything.
What do we need?
Look at him, he's in the car. Look at his face, bro.
The following is based on official police records, and most of the footage has never been seen before. 2 officers from the Albuquerque, New Mexico police are met by a representative from the Children, Youth, and Families Department, or CYFD, following a call from a worried woman who witnessed her neighbor's young son covered in bruises.
We'll go if you want to hang it tight in the car. Okay. And then we'll come back and get you. Hello, police department.
What's going on?
Hey, sir, so we're here to check on a kid, man.
The kid?
Yeah.
What number is this?
Apartment 3.
3?
What's your name?
Felipe.
Felipe. How you doing, Felipe?
I'm doing good. Just got off work, sir.
Okay. Who lives with you?
Huh?
Nodders.
Yeah, she's in the hospital right now. She had a minor stroke.
Did she? I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
Just yesterday, last night, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else is with you? Just your mom?
My mom's in the hospital.
But is that the only person?
No. It's just me by myself.
So like the officer said, so we got a phone call that there's a kid that lives there inside here, this apartment.
Well, it's me and my girlfriend.
Okay. Where's your girlfriend at now? You mind if we come in? All right.
Is it cold puppies?
The man who answered their knocks is Felipe Valencia. It isn't long before his girlfriend emerges from the apartment.
Hi, how you doing? So I'm Officer Gomez today. This is my partner, Officer Cadena. Precious Cadena. So basically, the reason why we're here is because we got a call that there's a kid in this apartment.
My son?
Yeah, your son that he doesn't look well. So that's why we're here to check on him.
Yeah, he fell off the bed the other night, so he kind of bruised up a little bit.
You mind if we check on him?
I'll bring him up right up to the door. Well, so let me be frank with you, okay? Let me be blunt, because he's kind of sugarcoating it. So we got a lot about the house, okay? So we're going to need to go in and check on the house. We're going to need to see where he sleeps. We're going to need to see if there's food, running water. We're going to need to see if there's hot water. There's everything. Okay. So like I mentioned, we're going to have to go inside regardless, okay?
So we don't know that.
It's not my house. It doesn't matter, man. We're going to have to check on the kid one way or another, bro. So you can make this harder or you can make it easy, dude. We're not, and like I said, you guys, we're here for the baby. We're not here for you guys,
I'm not making it harder.
Open?
We'll follow you in, bro. So the light's working?
I just have them off because my bill's so high. Yeah.
Yeah, the bed's kind of high. Yeah. Gilbert. His dad.
What the fuck?
So
Henry, yeah, they sent their gate. This is on the fair Colson. The other morning when I went to work, he looked up. We went to look for me. Shush. Can I see him really quickly? Yeah, of course you can. Like I said, he's crazy, he jumps.
They want to talk to you.
He rolled off the bed, like he said, he called me as soon as it happened. So we're probably going to need the on-call CACU. This kid's pretty tough. Why are you taking my son? Are you taking my son?
after securing the child in the vehicle with the
Why is the
CYFD
audio so
worker,
quiet? Is it quiet for you guys?
rushes back to rejoin his partner.
Okay, that's better.
Your kid, bro. Because he fell on the bed. Dumb hoe. I took her to the hospital already. Bed. You want a bed? That's not falling off the bed. That's crazy. That's not falling off the bed. That's not falling off the bed. That's crazy. 5 years old, you dumb hoe. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. You don't touch me. Hands on you. You push me. I'll take your job. What's up, bro? What's up? Watch right now.
Hey.
I got bit, dude. My dog bit me, dude.
She took
Hey.
When I work and take care of him by myself.
Yeah.
Jump.
You want to talk?
No, she put hands on me.
I can't understand you. You're screaming that.
She put hands on me. I'm pressing charges
That
on
is
her.
fine. That is fine. I don't care.
You took my son. You jump.
On his face.
her son is covered in bruises, and they're doing a wellness check on him, and they decided it's not a good enough living condition.
While one officer attempts to defuse the situation, his partner
So
takes a breather
they're
around the
taking
corner and
the
updates
son.
the rest of the team about the situation.
He's very upset about it.
We're all safe. He must be super pretty nice. Started pushing and swinging and stuff like that, but you're perfect. They want to come and see pictures of them outside in the parking lot. Blanket, okay? Because it's so cold.
Do we have any 34s on that call that are care certified?
Yeah.
You okay, Bush? Oh my goodness, baby. You okay? Yeah. Puppy. Hey, Bernie, baby? Yeah. I'll close the door, okay, puppy?
She then checks in with the CYFD worker.
So I don't think they're gonna talk to us, but they're probably gonna go to jail, honestly. Have you seen his face? Fell off the bed? Just dude, like. But if we're on your way, we're probably gonna take the baby out. Yeah, absolutely. It's bad. I didn't really get to. I'm gonna climb in the other side.
While this is going on, the other officer is witnessing another disturbing incident. As they're speaking, the couple's dog gets overexcited and bites Felipe.
Roxy, no, baby.
Damn.
Put the dog inside.
Come on, Roxy.
Hey, what's your name?
You don't need to know my name.
I do need to know your
You
name.
took my son. I don't want to talk to you.
You don't want to talk to me?
No.
That's
I want my son. You son of a.
I'm not gonna have your son back.
You want to bet me?
Yeah.
I will fight for him again.
You're not gonna fight anyone.
You want to bet me? You and the baby daddy. I know who called you.
Despite the woman's surety that the father of her child called the police, it was in fact one of her neighbors who contacted the authorities. In the car, the other officer takes a closer look at the child's bruises.
Can I see your legs, baby? Can you show me your legs? Uh-oh. He's sitting on my blanket. I'm gonna close this, okay? Can I see your belly? Oh my goodness. Why? Is it cold? Let me see, Baba. You got me in the police car? This is a nice car, not a police car. No. The police car, the seats are not warm. Don't worry about that. How old are you, baby? 5. You're 5? What's your name, buddy? 5. Your name's 5? You're silly.
Back with the mother, she begins making accusations about the origins of her son's injuries, notably different from her earlier claim that he only fell off the bed.
His dad, Gilbert Martinez, don't do a thing. I raised him. I've been doing that from my dad's house. He hits him. Ask my son.
Hey, calm down.
No, you took my son.
Okay, well, you
His
know what?
dad hits him, bro.
Well,
That's why I stopped you from seeing him.
Seeing an opening, when the woman calms down a little, the officer takes this opportunity to try and get an identification for her.
What's your name? Seriously, what's your name?
It's Natalie.
Natalie.
I want my son.
Listen.
I don't even give a what you're trying to say anymore.
Listen.
I'll kill you.
Felipe. Natalie, please.
I want my son. That's all I want. I want him. I want to press charges on his dad for hitting him. I want to press charges on that.
The father is not the boyfriend. The boyfriend and the father are two different people.
The woman is finally identified as Natalie Ann Size. She continues to make accusations about the child's father, claiming that her son has been telling her for weeks that his dad did this to him, and that this is the 4th time he's come home with bruises. She also claims that one of the reasons she's so upset is that she's already had a daughter pass away 14 years earlier.
You want to see your son again?
Yes,
then
I want him back.
Talk to me. Why are you like that?
Because he rolled off the bed. When he rolls over, he looks for me. He's a mama's boy.
Yeah.
I went to work. My man was watching him.
Stop lying to me.
I'm not lying to you. I put that on my life, you little.
He has 2 swollen eyes. How is that?
Because our bed is high, dog.
As backup arrives, the female officer heads over to debrief them.
Yeah, I'm good. I feel like.
Hey, what's up? What do we need? Chris, touch me.
Look at him, he's in the car. Look at his face, bro.
What is this? Is this mom? Who's this?
No, let's see what I think.
What happened, buddy?
Overcome with emotion at the sight of the child's injuries, including 2 black eyes that are so swollen they're partially shut, the officer excuses herself, returning when the ambulance arrives.
We haven't really found out, honestly. His legs and arms are bruised. His belly, his back, everything.
As he's loaded into the ambulance by the paramedic, other officers head to speak with Natalie, where she's still locked in a heated exchange.
You ain't gonna get me to calm down. I want my son. Take his daddy to jail, dog. Because he's the one that fractured my wrist.
No, I don't think he fell off the bed.
While Natalie continues her tirade, her son is ready for transport to the hospital.
What's up? How you doing? I think they're just gonna go.
They're going to UNMH.
Are we going to?
Yeah.
As he's whisked away, one of the officers is flagged down by a group hovering in the parking lot across the street.
Listen, right? Because I called. Because, oh my God, I cried yesterday.
We'll talk to you here in a second. Okay.
The officer doesn't return to speak with the neighbors who reported the child's bruises. However, the rest of the team prepares for the next step.
Hey, once we need to get those people detained and secure that place for a 29. I don't care how it's done, but we need to get them.
Yeah, well, listen, talk to me and we can help you out. You gotta talk to Natalie.
Without court order.
What do you mean, bro?
Come on here, brother.
I'm not doing nothing, bro.
Natalie!
As soon as Felipe unlocks the gate, some of the officers pull him to the side.
Put your hands like you're put both hands together like you're clapping. Not move.
I'm not moving, dude. I'm look, I got my hands there.
Hey, bro, so you're being detained right now, right? Well,
I'm cooperating. I'm not doing nothing.
I appreciate that, bro. So, what's... Beat the up.
Yeah, I know.
So, because of the extent of his injuries, we have to detain both of you guys while we conduct this investigation, you know what I mean? Till we get to the bottom of it.
I know his dad. I know that.
Do me a favor real quick, separate your feet. I'm just gonna pat you down, make sure you don't have any weapons or anything. Anything that can poke me or stab me?
I know that old boy, bro.
I hear you, man. So why didn't you guys,
bro,
yeah.
He came back from his dad, bro. Dude. And I don't know why she ain't saying the truth, dude. That boy, he's innocent. You know what I mean? They should know you.
Hi, bro.
She's doing.
I'll watch him.
With Felipe detained, officers once again approach the apartment where Natalie has gone inside. Given her behavior so far, the officers know getting her into custody will be no easy feat, and yet they still are likely unprepared for what happens next.
They took my son! Come here. You don't talk to me! Take off the badge and step to me! Come here. No! These cops took my son! Don't touch me!
I know.
Don't touch me!
Get out here.
You have no right to touch me!
Get out here.
No!
Hey, family.
I don't want to talk to you! I don't have to! I don't feel safe with you!
Where's the dog? Where's the dog? Come here.
Don't worry about it, dog! Stay the away from me!
Ew.
And I will
What happened here?
relax me! Hey, they took my phone!
Come here, Natalie.
Realizing this is going nowhere, the officers make the decision to enter the residence, sending Natalie into full-blown panic.
Where are you going? Natalie. Hey, what are you doing? Stop. Hey, Natalie.
Get in my other phone if you guys want to steal that one!
Natalie, stop.
Don't come in here! Don't come near me!
Hey, Natalie, you move,
Don't
I'm gonna
touch
tase you.
me!
I will tase you if you
Don't
move.
touch me! No! Don't touch! You guys can't touch me! What the Ow! I'm trying to stand on! Watch my wrist! Watch my wrist!
You're fighting.
Jesus.
You guys are me!
Yeah, I mean either.
Stop hitting yourself.
You're hurting my wrist!
Yeah, stop fighting.
It's fractured already!
No, stop fighting. Go outside.
Ow!
Go outside.
Ow! You're making me fall! You're sliding my socks off! Moron! Ow! I'm walking! You guys
Stop fighting. Hey, stop fighting.
You stepped on
Stop.
my
We're gonna stop right here. Are you gonna quit it?
I am!
Stop.
You just
Then
stepped
walk
on my...
like a grown woman.
I'm trying! You stepped on my
Walk.
foot!
Walk.
Ow! Ow! Watch out with the six, guys!
Well,
Oh,
if you would have just cooperated, I could let you get shoes, but you wanted to act like a 5-year-old.
Ow!
Keep walking.
Ow!
We'll wait right here.
That was with my foot.
Grab it.
Ow! 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 Can you pull a sock up, please? Ow!
One of those chargers?
Ow! Ow! The wrist. You got it on my wrist
Well,
bone.
are you gonna stop? Hey,
Ow! Yes.
are you gonna
ow.
relax?
Yeah. Ow!
That's why
Why are
we
you
sit
sitting
down
out?
like that.
Hey, why are you sitting out?
Because my wrist is fractured and that's on my bone.
Okay, well listen up.
Ow!
While Natalie is being detained, her son has arrived at the hospital. Seeing the bruises covering his face, the medical staff quickly gathers to check him out. After he's assessed and made comfortable, the officer is allowed in the room with him.
Hi, buddy. What are you watching? Is this Disney cartoons? Oh. No, you can keep it on, buddy.
Natalie, on the other hand, is far from comfortable.
Is that good?
Yes. Ow! Can I have my phone to tell my mom that I'm going to jail so she can go
We
get
don't know you're going to jail. We just wanted to talk to you and get you out of the house,
you
but you
guys
acted
tried
like
to grab
this.
me.
Because you wouldn't come out and you're yelling at us.
There's no point in I said I didn't want to talk
Hey,
to you
relax,
guys no
stop.
more.
You don't have an option.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
You have any weapons on you?
No, I don't want anything on me. Let's just take this phone. Ow! I have a lighter in my pocket. Ow! Ow!
Stop moving.
It's because I stepped on a rock and it really hurt.
Come here.
Thank you. I asked them a second ago to do the same thing, but they couldn't.
Now you're acting like an adult. Get in.
With Natalie secured, the officers take a moment to discuss her son's injuries.
Did you see him?
No, but I saw her face after.
It's bad. I don't know if he was already missing teeth, but he's missing teeth.
Well,
It looked bad enough to knock teeth out.
how old is the kid?
Little, smaller than my son. 5
Months?
No, 5 years old. Like, someone tuned him up. Someone punched him a lot of times. Both eyes swollen, like they're only open. Still blood on his chin, blood on his nose.
Is he awake?
Yeah, he talked to me. He said, so I kind of just knelt down and was like, what happened, buddy? And he said, Dad hit me a couple times.
And that dude's dead?
I don't think so. I think that, but she was saying, I took him to the hospital yesterday. Well, they call us for that. I mean, yeah.
You're a liar.
At the hospital, Natalie's 5-year-old son is having a hard time without his mother.
She could voice a banshee for real.
Not yet, buddy. But soon, okay? And then that way you can get some food. Are Are you sleepy? No. No, I'm sleepy. Where are you going, silly goose? Okay, we'll bring Mama here, but you can't leave the bed, okay?
Even after she's been placed in the police vehicle, Natalie continues to bemoan her own discomfort.
Dude, imagine the fucking pain that the kid is in, and she's like, oh, I stepped on the rock, please, let me go some shoes on.
You'll be alright. I don't know yet.
Can you call your captain so I can talk to him, please?
For what?
Because you guys said you guys wanted to talk.
Well, I wanted to talk before, but you were acting like a kid.
I told you I didn't want to talk because every time I call you.
Okay, well now you're in handcuffs and you're detained. Just relax. Take a breath. You're gonna be here for a while. Just stop.
I'm cold. I asked for my shoes already 5 different times. They said they're gonna get them.
Okay.
But you're not helping by not getting them to bring them.
I'm sorry.
It's cold.
I'm sorry.
Things continue to grow confrontational between Natalie and the officer.
None of us hit him. The only thing I do when he gets...
I'm not saying that you hit him. Who's saying you hit him?
Well, obviously I'm getting blamed for something because
you're getting blamed. You're getting no.
Bruises. I get that.
For abuse, for neglect. You're his mother. You're supposed to take care of him.
I do take care of him.
No, you don't.
During her outburst, Natalie reveals that she was previously charged for domestic violence following an incident with her son's father, though she doesn't offer many details about what exactly transpired. However, court documents indicate that Natalie was charged with domestic violence in 2004
I am the father.
2017, along with various charges over the years for breaking and entering,
Yeah, the
concealing
father beat the
identity and
kid.
criminal trespass, embezzlement of a motor vehicle, and shoplifting.
There's no perfect mom, but I'm a one good
The kid
mom.
said,
I try my best to do everything I can to support all my kids. I have a lot going on my plate. My kids are my number one.
At the hospital, Natalie's son is moved to another room for closer examination, but not before he's given the chance to pick out a stuffed animal to accompany him.
Freaking congrats, Levi.
Do you want a different one? We got a monkey, we got bears, we got rabbits. Oh my gosh. We're helping you. You're welcome. Which one do you think?
Okay.
That one? Oh, the monkey's a good one. That's a good choice. Oh, and he came with a fine stitch. They're gonna do CTs and X-ray first real quick.
As the officers and representatives from the CYFD wait in the hall outside the child's room, they discuss the scope of the injuries they've seen covering his small body. In the background, Natalie's son can be heard crying.
It's hard to... He's full of injuries. He's from head to toe, so I don't know which...
It's hard to tell what's burned, what's not.
Yeah, there's old bruises, new bruises, eyes swollen shut, and then he has a lot of on his ears as well. The bruising, yeah, and it's kind of like a dark purple.
When Natalie's son is returned to his room, the officers and CYFD make plans for the investigation, including measuring the furniture inside the home to see if it matches the child's injuries and Natalie's claims.
Beef off the bed like 400 times, or what happened there? Because that's extremely probably the worst kid I've seen.
After nearly 3 hours in the vehicle together, the detectives finally arrive.
I think she looks cute. Look at her.
We'll give you a 2 different car, okay?
Wow.
Where it's bigger and has more,
I still have my brace stuff with
Over
my
here.
wrist. Hold on. So let me explain to you what's happening, okay? So
I already know.
Natalie Saiz pled guilty to abandonment of a child resulting in great bodily harm, child abuse, and bribery of a witness, and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Natalie's boyfriend Felipe Valencia pled guilty to 3 counts of child abuse and 1 count of bribery of a witness. He was also sentenced to 10 years in prison.
Oh. That video was very new too. Just came out. Oh my god, have you guys seen this song? Funny.
Don't do that. You're gonna go to jail if you do that. You get it. You insane?
Don't make me ask somebody to smite your. But
Please don't do that.
Silencio, Leon, Silencio. Sit the down. You want to challenge my womanhood? What's up? That's probably how she was dressing like.
Just because?
Or what? At the end of the mother day, my says M for male. Male. And like I said, this is a man's world.
You don't think you're gonna lose a bunch of followers like that?
Nope. They will scream my name.
Police respond to reports of a disorderly guest at a luxury hotel in Miami, Florida, where a person is allegedly walking around the pool area naked and causing a disturbance. But what begins as a minor incident quickly escalates, resulting in felony charges, a viral arrest, and growing controversy over how the system treated one of social media's most recognizable faces.
Oh no, I have to pee. Oh.
The following report is based on official police records, and some of the footage has never been seen before until now. Around 6 p.m. on November 7th, 2022, a 911 call comes in from staff at the Good Time Hotel in Miami Beach.
There's somebody here causing a disturbance on the restaurant level, undressed in no clothes and everything and whatnot.
The person is naked?
You hear him right now.
Male or female?
I don't know which one it is, but it's one of them.
Okay.
And she's throwing water on my foot. Hey, some of them start getting loud, dog. So I'm not the one, dog. I'm not going to lie to you. I am not the one, man.
Minutes later, the first officer arrives on scene, where the security guard who made the 911 call is already waiting outside to explain the situation.
Yeah, she upstairs. They telling me I'm finna call the general manager, but they telling me she's VIP, but I don't give VIP or not, you can't do that, dog. I called the lady in the back of the house, walking in the back, so I was like, hey, what's she doing here? She ain't got no clothes on, towel. She's walking through Strawberry Moon. She tripping now. Asking, hey, you this, hi, stopping at the bar. Ma'am, you are not dressed to be here. I need you to go to your room. Oh, don't talk to me like that. This, that, and the third. She goes, this, she takes some water from the belly, asks and pour the water on me, all type of, yo, I don't come for that, dog. I don't give a who your friend. I don't care how much money they got. Y'all not gonna be disrespecting me at all over here. That's why I called y'all, bro. Because I'm about to fold this, put it in a pancake batter, dog. No, don't do that.
For sure, dog.
Well, I'm here now, and I'm gonna try to help you out as best as I can, okay?
The guard leads the officer inside and attempts to reconnect with another staff member as they seemingly lost sight of the individual.
I'm right here. I don't see you. Unless you were visiting, you said front desk.
I was there and
Where's she at? So we can at least make a report. Somebody got to talk to her. I don't care if VIP, not VIP, but I'm going to call I'll be right now. But, bro.
oh my god. Ooh, hi.
Hi.
Sir.
How are you?
Sir, officer. Ooh, Leon.
What? I don't think I even got my...
Look what I got into. They better pay me overtime.
But the guest is quickly located just as the officer's partner arrives on scene. Security then leads both officers to make contact.
I just want this documented at the end of the day. See what I'm saying? Now there's a noise complaint. We're going to get a noise complaint for sure.
Security knocks several times without a response, but when the officer steps in and announces their presence, someone finally answers.
Miami Beach Police, we need to talk to you. Open the door, please.
Is everything okay?
Obviously not. They have to talk to you about the disturbance from earlier.
Oh my gosh.
This is 26-year-old Nikita Ingwen, more famously known as Nikita Dragon, a transgender beauty influencer and internet personality with a massive online following. But this time, Nikita is about to become the center of a very different kind of spotlight.
But we just came here to speak to you about your incident from
I
earlier.
used to watch it
You don't speak to
when beauty YouTubers were
We want to let you know,
still pretty
as a collective,
Are you sorry?
not
I'm
messed
not
up,
sorry for
I guess.
For you threw water on me, man. All right.
Nikita retreats back into the hotel room, seemingly ending the conversation. But what was meant to be a simple verbal warning was about to escalate to something far more serious.
I'm not going to go back and forth with this. What would you guys like us to do? The next complaint I get about her, do you guys want her out? The person, I'm not going to...
Did I not put you out? Do you want more?
Get one more complaint. Don't do that. You're gonna go to jail if you do that. If you get saying? This is
Don't do that.
time,
Don't do
dog.
that. Oops. Come on. Oh no. Oops. Hi.
Don't move.
Go ahead.
Deputies are able to quickly place Nikita in handcuffs without resistance, but the calm doesn't last long.
Please face forward.
Now, water hit me too, by the way. Oh, you didn't like that? No, I didn't. You didn't like getting wet? Then stand out of the way.
I was out of the way.
Okay. Well then, don't let a mother ever step to me.
Please don't do that. There's no need for that.
Oh.
There is no need to act the way you're acting right now.
What's the way I'm acting?
Okay?
At the end of the day.
Let go of this. Let go of this.
Please.
Let go of this.
Say please. Say please.
You're gonna escalate this.
No, I'm not. Let's go.
For absolute no reason.
Where's escalating?
Listen to me.
Yes.
We're giving you a lawful order.
Okay.
You are under arrest.
Okay, great.
We're asking you to let go of that.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'm not going to. Take it from me.
Okay. You understand that you're under arrest?
Yeah, that's fine. Take it from me. Take my bag from my hands. Take the bag from my hands.
Don't do that.
I'm not. Okay, that's
Don't
it.
do that.
Okay.
There's no need for that. Don't do that. You do not have to do that. What are you doing?
Can you please let go of the bag?
What are you doing?
I got you. How much longer we gotta do? I'm only responding to the gays and the girls. What?
Please let go of your bag.
No. Don't make me ask somebody to smite you. But
Please
Holy
don't do
moly.
that.
Silencio. Leon. Silencio. 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 Oh my god. Oh no. Oh, I fell.
Please get up.
No, oh my god, I fell. I think I'm gonna have to be carried.
Please get up.
Oh.
How did I tolerate watching her?
From the
She was not like this, okay?
Can you have Sierra 1033 respond to the QTA and meet us at the lobby?
She was not like this. She's
Nikita
on
eventually
something.
stands and is escorted out of the hotel. Outside, they meet up with a female officer who prepares to conduct a standard search before transport.
You have anything on you?
What? What kind of thing?
You have any weapons or anything?
One of mass destruction between my legs, girl.
Okay. Do you have anything else?
No, just a dream and knowing exactly who I am. But clearly not everybody does.
Nikita is placed in the back of a patrol vehicle and transported to the Miami Beach Police Department for initial processing. Upon arrival at the station, officers escort Nikita to a separate room to change into a different set of clothes inside a nearby bathroom.
Let me see right here. Can I use the restroom? Yeah. Here. When you go, are these your clothes? Yeah. Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, you used to watch James,
So you can put-
Charles, and Jeffree Star, and Shane Dawson.
Close the door, okay?
No, that's fine.
Nikita begins to change into new clothing and continues to talk with the officer, but the conversation quickly takes a sudden and unexpected turn.
When beauty influencers were actually
I'm just asking, I'm not rushing.
Okay.
funny and unproblematic.
Okay,
Put the
don't.
pants on. Put the pants on.
Do not.
Put the
I am showing mercy. Because even the weakest of us is stronger than the mightiest.
Put the pants on.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're on. So, sister,
I'll put them on the way.
I will. But let me move this because it's hurting my.
Okay.
Okay. I'll try to get dressed up, but you know, I pull up like this because that means I can suck it easier. And I've been caught over that I am too. And they can come bullets. Because men love girls like me more than girls like you.
Okay.
Okay, no, I'm just telling you. There's a fact.
After the exchange, Nikita finishes getting dressed and is cuffed to the bench just outside the room. But what officers don't yet realize is this won't be the last time pants become a problem.
I have to ask for the report policy-wise. What do you want to be identified as?
A man.
Okay.
This is a man's world.
As the deputy begins filling out Nikita's paperwork, tensions rise when questions come up about the location of certain personal items.
You have anything else in here? No.
How would
There's no panties in here. There's no panties in here. You have lip gloss. Lip gloss.
this look?
I'ma let it go. I am going to let it go. Go. Get out of my, please. I will show mercy.
What did I say about who runs the show here?
I run the show everywhere.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Do something about it.
No, you don't.
Do something about it. Find me my pennies, because I came from
I have no idea where your pennies are.
Okay.
I just brought you here.
Okay, go. You're dismissed. Go.
Because of that, I'm not going anywhere.
Out of my sight.
You don't run the show here.
I do.
The interaction continues to escalate, with Nikita growing increasingly agitated the longer the conversation goes on.
Oh, you're being so mean to a trans girl. I can't believe you as a woman are not going to validate my
You're the one that started it.
You're challenging my womanhood. Let's go. You challenge my sit down. You want to challenge my womanhood?
Thank you.
Get up out of here. What's up?
How am I challenging your womanhood? Please tell me.
You want to fuck up? Come here. Come here now.
Relax.
Come here.
Relax.
Oh, you're gonna hide behind. Oh, you wanna hide? Oh, you wanna hide behind there? Oh, you're gonna hide? I got an army at my disposal. Dracarys! I am unburned. Try it.
Girl, this is not Game of Thrones.
Come at me. I know who the I am. Nicolas Antonio Win, breaker of mother chains, mother dragons, first of her name. I just got my God, because he just said I got the best in the world, and my good too. And he wanted to make me come, and I waited. And the back of you's even worse than the front of you, but thank God you're sparing me, because God damn it, you look like even more of a dude than before. Because at the end of the day, my says M for male. Male. And like I said, this is a man's world. This is a man's world.
But as the verbal assault continues, the officer fires back at Nikita.
Damn, girl, you thick, girl, but not even in a good way. You're built like a brick.
At least mine is real.
Oh!
Yours is not real.
Huh?
Yours is not real.
Okay, so they all want to Can someone at least give me a thing of water? Make yourself useful, fire girl. Get me a glass of water.
Act right and you can get water.
Huh?
Act right and you can get water.
Give me water or I will rain right the here. You want to step to me again? Let's go. Let's go.
Is it worth it?
Yes.
You don't think you're going to lose a bunch of followers like that?
Nope.
Nope.
They will scream my name.
Nikita begins spitting on the handcuffs, attempting to slip free of them.
Stop trying to take the handcuff off. You're going to get handcuffed on the other hand too.
Okay.
What did you just use this like that?
It broke.
Oh, sure did. Sure did.
To prevent any further issues, officers decide to cuff Nikita's other hand to the bench, securing both arms. But just when they think things have settled down, Nikita does something no one could have expected.
Well, yeah, she was just, like Nikita said, built like a fucking brick, apparently.
The deputies continue securing Nikita's second hand to the bench, but Nikita begins pushing the female officer with a leg, prompting the officer to rush back over to assist.
Where are you gonna stay like that, bro? Okay. I gotta fight you for your friends.
I can't believe I'm just having to stay here with my
Apparently.
Officers leave the room momentarily.
You didn't
and
hear it
seconds later,
earlier?
Nikita performs another foul act of defiance.
Oh no, I have to pee. Here I go. Oh no. Oh. Oh. That's funny.
A short time later, officers return to escort Nikita out of the station and into a transport van bound for the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center, though the ride there was anything but quiet. When they arrive at the correctional center, they're forced to wait behind other incoming transports. But inside the van, Nikita grows impatient.
Here we go.
No, you
Hello?
Nikita, we're in line waiting. For them to allow us in, because there's a line.
The jail.
Into the jail.
I don't wait in line. Come on, let's go.
We do, though.
The officers are soon allowed entry and begin waiting in the drop-off area for the intake process to begin. But as the minutes pass, Nikita's behavior once again begins to draw attention.
Nikita, are you peeing? Name, bro. Did she pee on you? No, not on me. Hey, you have to call PS for the van, too. God damn it, man.
Soon after, correctional staff ask the arresting officers how Nikita prefers to be identified.
His license says female, but he identifies as him, and he has male.
Switch to female, but as of right now, today, he wants to be addressed as a
The officers open the van doors, allowing Nikita to step out, then place Nikita on a nearby bench to wait for inmate clothing and an intake check by the jail nurse. But just as things begin to move forward, Nikita sets sights on someone new, and the tension is about to rise once again.
Sit down. Out the way.
sit down.
I'm not, you know what? I'm not gonna sit anymore. At all. At all. Well, see, that's why you gotta sit down. Oh, what? You gotta sit down. Relax. Oh, remember when you touched that one girl, homie? Oh, yeah, you remember? Oh, but she didn't want it. Okay. She didn't want it. That's fine. That's up.
That one day. Oh, for sure. No, yeah, he told me. He was like, he straight up said,
I was adjusting myself. And I took.
I'm gonna sit down. Put your legs.
Oh, what? Oh, what? Oh, what? Oh, what? Oh, relax. Oh, you touching me again? Oh, but I'm not like the other one. Oh, you can touch me, homie. What's up? What's up? What the is up? What?
Nikita Dragon was booked into the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center in Miami-Dade County. According to news sources, Nikita was charged with felony battery on a police officer, misdemeanor battery, and misdemeanor disorderly conduct. Bond was set at $2,000, though Nikita was ultimately released on recognizance. During the bond hearing, Nikita claimed to have been placed in the male section of the facility and requested a transfer. The statement sparked controversy as Nikita is legally recognized as female, despite reportedly telling both police and correctional staff Nikita identifies as male. However, Miami-Dade Corrections disputed this, stating that Dragon remained in an open booking area during intake and was later held alone in a separate cell due to high-profile status. Following the incident, Nikita was reported to have taken a hiatus from public appearances and social media to focus on personal well-being, but has since returned to the public eye.
Damn, crazy. Holy moly. Holy moly. This is like, you know, their livelihood. Damn, I've watched like all of these videos. God damn it. There's no video that I haven't watched. There was one, but I didn't wanna. Why does it keep on? Why is it just showing the same videos that I've scrolled past? Evil mom realizes she's been caught.
Brandon, let's go now.
Okay.
Snapped inside a crit shirt. They got it on video, like she snapped.
Officer, hurry! He's lightning here.
I don't even know why I'm going to jail. They're the ones who held my son away from me.
Well, I watched the video of you grabbing your son underneath his shoulders.
Trying to pick him up. I can't hold your hand, baby. Why? Because I'm in handcuffs.
Chaos erupts in an Iowa gas station when customers intervene in a family dispute. The ensuing havoc results in an astonishing brawl that leaves the community stunned. But that's nothing compared to the shock that police officers get when they learn that the pandemonium started when a mother violently manhandled her 9-year-old autistic son. The lazy quiet of a September weekend in 2021 is broken when a call comes in to 911 reporting an uproar at a local convenience store.
Police department, can I help you?
People fighting up here at Quick Trip.
How many people are fighting?
Well, mom was beating her kid really bad in here.
Ma'am, I can't hear you. Something's wrong with your phone. How many people?
There's like 3, 4. And other people, it's the kid from her, and they're all yelling and freaking out.
All right, we'll be on the way up there.
Even through a poor phone connection, the commotion in the background is enough to alert dispatchers that a bizarre emergency is unfolding at the Quick Trip gas station. Officer Miller of the Des Moines Police Department is first on the scene, and the crowd that rushes to greet him is the first indication that something is very wrong there.
This lady's in here choking him off and dragging him around the stores, right? So we tell her to calm down, and then she is just going crazy now. My homie's not in there holding her down right now.
Officer! Hurry! It's lightning here!
Oh my God. Somebody better get this just text me.
Okay.
She punched her and she punched her.
Hey!
Oh, Mason, get her out.
She's throwing everything and beating her.
Place your hands behind your back.
I'm not.
Place your hands behind your back.
My son.
Place your hands behind your back. Place your hands behind your back. You just struck me.
Fine, but I want my son.
Okay.
No, because they're the ones who started.
Place your hands behind your back. Relax, okay?
Good, officer. Because they're the ones who started.
Keep your hands behind your back.
I am behind my back.
Okay.
And I would like to talk to an officer now.
Okay, I'm here.
I want my son.
Place your hands behind your back.
They're the ones who started it, and I want my son.
Okay.
The commotion inside the convenience store will make it difficult for police to piece the situation together, but it will surely be easier with this woman secured in handcuffs.
What is going on?
First of all, I was trying to discipline my son. They got involved. My son is ADHD. I was trying to get him out of the store. They got involved when they wasn't supposed to. I just want my son so I could go home, please.
So why are you throwing things? You hit me.
They're the ones who kept getting in my face and would not back off. Leave me alone.
Okay, so that's
So
your reasoning for throwing things at me?
No, and then I did not mean to throw them at you. I just want my son so I could go home. Because
All right,
I know
we're
what the
gonna step
problem
outside.
is
We're
with
gonna
my
step
son,
outside.
and nobody doesn't want to
All right.
listen.
Step outside.
Tell Vader that I just want my son so I
Okay.
can go home.
Are you here with anyone?
Just me and my son.
Where do you live?
Right behind us, and I would like to take my son home. He has workers. Right now, the workers and I've been dealing with this because he has ADHD. And I would like to get him home for medicine. So can I please take my son home?
Stand right here.
From the house on foot northbound and
I
turn
just want my
westbound on
son
Amherst.
so I could go home.
Amen.
We're gonna figure all this out, okay? Have a seat in my car.
Was he still armed with a knife?
And I'll be willing to call.
Nobody can confirm.
With the mom squared away, Officer Miller goes to check on her son.
All right, is everybody else okay?
Yeah, everybody's fine.
Okay, everybody's fine.
You can see the marks on his neck.
Hey, bud.
Yeah.
Don't take my mom to jail. If she's doing that to him in public, imagine what she's doing to him in private.
Hey, buddy, can you talk to me? Okay. Can you look up at me? Cause mom kind of. Oh yeah, you got marks on your neck. All right. Can you sit here for me, okay? Thanks, buddy.
The boy is reluctant to talk, but the discolorations on his neck make it more important than ever for Officer Miller to get to the bottom of this situation.
You got video of this?
Hi.
Can you show me?
The TT got videos of it too. Everybody in here is gonna say the same. We literally just walk over to where they was behind the fountain drinks. Like,
So what was she doing with her child? Picking,
She was like,
get up.
like picking him up by the neck?
He's literally on his back.
She's pulling him by the arm.
He like let it go and her.
Get up.
threw him down.
And she's sitting
That's
there.
when I
She's
took
yelling loud as hell like, I don't give a
We
You're
wasn't
coming
even
with
gonna
me.
say nothing, but it just kept going on. Like,
Yeah, like-
so then we walked back there, and then we just tried to tell her to stop, and she started tripping out.
Oh,
Who did she
Jinxie.
assault?
Like 4
Hi.
or 5 different people.
Did she assault
I
you?
was just
Me,
Which
assault
one
me.
did she
glancing
push through
over.
the door? One of these little kids. She called a black. Like she just sweeping.
Out of control.
She assaulted my fiance. I had to actually like put her on the ground because
Sure.
she was getting way too out of control. I held her down for a little bit. She bit me. She
Yeah, I got a video of him holding her down to where she can't do anything anymore.
Okay.
because she was really getting out of control. Like
It's already clear that however unhinged this situation appeared when Officer Miller arrived on the scene, the full story is even crazier. But the breathless testimony of the witnesses cannot compare to the video itself.
She was like trying to put her hands on these little girls. I don't know where they went.
she
And that's
squared
when
up
you
with
intervened,
another
like,
little
those are
girl,
little girls.
talking about I'm gonna punch you in the face. She just kept throwing stuff and throwing stuff.
She threw something at me. I
She
told her
threw
she
something
was
at
getting out
me.
and smack her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she did that. That's when I hit her.
Yep, okay.
Because you don't do that to kids.
Nope.
I'm not with none of that.
We wasn't in the wrong.
No, you're helping this child out. That's fine.
That's all we was
You're doing what you should have done.
Right.
If Officer Miller was reserving the benefit of the doubt for his suspect, this cell phone video has clearly changed things. To the mother currently sitting in the back of his police car, however, the fault lies with everyone else.
Just want my son.
We're making a reference sheet.
And Brendan has a habit of making everything worse.
There's a
If the mom thinks her son and the other customers are to blame for this incident, she seems to be the only one who feels that way.
But then she ended up punching him in his back and then hit me in the back of my head, and that's when I really just took off on her.
So she assaulted both of you?
Yes,
Okay.
somebody else had a video.
We didn't assault her first.
Do you two wish she's going to be going to jail anyway? Do you wish
We're gonna
the
make this the
victims of the
backside.
assault testify in
I
court
want to press
against her?
charges. I don't care. I want to press charges.
Do you want to go to court and testify?
Yeah,
all that?
I
Okay.
will.
Okay.
I will. Most definitely will.
Outstanding.
For him,
That helps this get a little more valid, so thank you.
Yeah, she pressed charges against me. I'm pressing charges against her for hitting me. If they would have backed off, I would have been able to take my son home and go home calmly. But they don't even know the situation, and they think they know. And they know nothing about my son.
There are clearly two very different views of what happened before police arrived on this bizarre day, but security cameras have captured every moment of the action. Police will soon see for themselves exactly how things went down inside the Quick Trip, and so will we. In the meantime, the cell phone video is more than enough to disgust Officer Miller.
Can you show me where she slams the child on the ground again?
It's this video.
I don't know what you can see, but
Picks him up under the arms.
right here in the back.
Takes him, swings him down.
Picks him up in the air and throws him on the floor. Okay.
While she shows her video again to Officer Miller, her fiancé shows Officer Peckman how he was hurt in the melee.
Do you have any injuries on you from...
Well, I don't know what you can see, but she punched me right here in the back.
Okay. And then you said she bit you?
Well, she attempted to.
Yeah, okay.
She didn't get the chance to because
Okay.
I heard they got up away. But she was pinching me literally like right here. You can probably still see this.
Some redness, yeah.
So when I was walking out the store, she punched me in my back. She punched my girl, and so we just attacked her because that's my lady. Like, ain't nobody just gonna attack my lady.
Having gathered
Did that
statements
guy
from the
look
main
like
participants, the
Andrew
cops
Tate
have
or
another
something?
conversation with the woman who started all of this.
See if she has a story and see if she has someone who can come pick this child up. Ma'am, what's your first name?
And I can also give you my son's workers.
Just as the officers note those down, she utters more strange details.
If my son has to go to foster care, I will understand. But I would like to go home so I can talk to his workers and get all of this handled, please.
Sure, we'll get all this sorted out shortly. What's going on with him today?
Brendan, he is ADHD,
Okay.
autism on a spectrum, mood swings, DD, that goes along with the ADHD.
Okay.
His workers are under Orchard Place Guidance Center. He is due for his medicine, and he's even got a doctor's appointment to get back in school tomorrow because he's been home sick.
Okay.
And when he does not get his way, which the workers know, he will throw a fit like that in the store. And they told me to carry him out and get him back at home. And that's exactly what I did until they got involved. And I tried to tell them they don't know him and they don't know the situation.
What's his first name?
Brendan, and his psych meds are at my house right now.
As shocking as it is that a mother would so quickly volunteer her son for foster care, it's obvious that there's more to this family history than police can unpack in an afternoon. However, a hint of it may come out as Officer Peckman searches Regina for weapons.
I'm going to pat you down really quick, so I'm going to have you hop out. Do you have any weapons on you, or needles or knives or anything that's going to hurt me?
Nope.
Okay.
Because I don't even do that anymore since I've had my son. This is just the first time somebody's involving themselves when they don't know the situation and what I go through with him. And like I said, he is due to meet with Brianne tomorrow because we're discussing to getting him into focus.
So does he stay at Orchard Place sometimes?
No, because he's not 10 yet.
Okay, I gotcha.
He's taken off from the house. Like I told her, he's due to have his next dosage of medicine when I get home.
I'm gonna get the car started. I'm gonna get the AC running so you get some air. I'll go ahead and get your keys. We'll get this sorted out, okay?
And my wallet's behind the thing.
Okay. Oh my. Good. You got quite the call here.
This is a dramatic understatement, as will become clear when we see the wild Quick Trip surveillance footage in a moment. But the entire video isn't necessary for the police to come up with some likely charges for Regina Morris.
I mean, she straight up picks him up under the shoulders and body slams him on the
Yeah, I saw.
So I
saw the video
that's a little bit more than
just picking him up and getting him to the car. Yeah.
What do you think? Certainly some sort of child endangerment.
I think that's
body
something.
slamming
Yeah.
child, right?
Yeah.
And then assaulting. She's saying, I'll do a simple assault for hitting her in the head, simple assault for whatever happened to
Pinching
him.
and punching and yeah.
I'll call my supervisor, see what it's done. Obviously, someone has to come pick this kid up. She says there's no one to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Before Officer Miller can begin writing up the charges, however, Regina has some complaints.
Excuse me, can I say something?
Yeah, before.
These handcuffs are a little too tight because they're hurting my wrist back here.
Here, I'll have you step out. I'm going to put two on, make it a little more comfortable for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Which one's one that's really tight?
Both of them are.
All right. Now, I'm going to have to uncuff you for a second, okay? Just be cool, all right? Very cool.
Just digging in my hand.
Nope, I got you.
And what is going to take place? Because all I got, his phone numbers are at my house. Medicine's at my house, and I do have a friend who can take him down there. She's in D11.
I'll have you step back in. So D11, is this,
Yeah,
do you know the friend's name?
Yeah, Donisha. She's the only friend I have at the building, and she will be willing to take him.
Okay.
Regina's comfort has been addressed, and now there's at least one possible option when it comes to Brendan's care. In the meantime, Officer Peckman tries to get some information from the store's employees.
So did you see what happened? That lady came in with her two kids, and she wasn't listening, but she was like beating them. Okay. Not just this time. Okay. Are those cameras?
What am I doing this to myself?
Okay.
And then, so then those people stepped in, and then from there it just broke loose. She was freaking out, throwing everything.
Okay. Did she damage anything in here?
I mean, she just threw all of her stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Making sense of these chaotic events won't be easy, but there are worse things than putting together a puzzle. Having rescued one of Regina's flip-flops, Officer Peckman tries her hand at a task that's perhaps less unpleasant, but no less challenging, getting Brendan into her police car.
Hey, Brendan. Is it Brandon? Hey, bud. Oh, my gosh. You want to come hang out in my car where it's cool? Hey, Brendan, let's take your drink and let's go wait in my car, okay? Okay. Well, these folks need to go, yeah. We're going to have a DHS worker come out and we'll figure out where, yeah. These folks need to move on with their day, so you're going to come sit in my car and hang out with me.
Brendan is content to hang out beside the Quick Trip for now.
You
And
can
when Officer
delete
Miller
your
comes to
own
chat with Officer
messages.
Peckman, the boy's care is
But
on
I
his
cannot
mind
see
as
any
well.
of the stuff that you guys see.
She says she's got a friend, Denisha, in D11. It's a friend. She's okay with the child going there, but I would want to check with DHS about if that's okay with them. You know what I mean? Is he in the car?
No, he doesn't want to go in the car, so I can wait with him outside. He's actually a little difficult, so.
Is he?
Officer Miller isn't pleased to hear about his partner's failure, but he quickly learns that she did the best she could.
Come over here. Come on.
Yeah, come on up, bud.
You want to pick you up? Come on.
All right. Thanks, buddy. And thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the help.
Are you gonna take my mom to jail?
Well, we're figuring all this out, okay? Would you like to sit in the car so you can at least be cool? Nothing bad's gonna happen, okay? All right. Let's start doing some other stuff.
Officer Miller then moves to deal with Regina, who has some alternative suggestions for how the rest of the day should go.
All right.
Am I going to jail?
Yes, we have to contact DHS and see if that's a plan that'll work.
Go home.
What's that?
I'd like to go back to my home.
I know you do.
To get a hold of the workers to let them know. You guys
We're also getting a hold of DHS, okay? We have our own protocols we have to go through, okay?
Then I would like to press charges against them too. Because she's the one who hit me. And then he held me down. So I would like to press charges against both of them. If I'm going to jail, they need to go. I don't even know why I'm going to jail. They're the ones who held my son away from me.
Well, I watched a video of you grabbing your son underneath his shoulders and slamming him on the floor.
Trying to pick him up.
What's that?
I was trying to pick him up.
Yeah, and then you throw him to the floor. Okay. Well, then I don't know what to tell you, because that's what I saw.
I would like to go home so that I could calm down, so I could call my workers.
Would you like to speak with my sergeant?
Yes, because I would like to go home. I can understand that you're placing him outside the home. I'm willing to do that. But I would like to go home and calm down so that I could get a hold of the workers to let them know what is going on.
It's perhaps not surprising that Officer Miller's sympathies are in short supply, but when Regina's friend Denisha shows up at the store, she too is in shock over what she's witnessed.
Yeah, I'm okay. Regina snapped inside a crit trip. They got it on video, like she snapped. They're posting it on Facebook. Damn, that went viral fast.
Disturbed by the video, Denisha speaks with her friend in the back of the police car.
And they're not even letting me to go home to calm down.
Yeah, no, honey, because that video, Regina, sis, what happened?
They got involved and they wouldn't back out in my face either. So they're partly at fault too.
Baby, what happened between you and your son?
He was throwing a fit and I was trying to walk out until they wanted to get involved and made the situation worse.
Why did you call me, Ma?
My phone's at home.
I was trying to call you.
I was already up here. I was trying to get home with him. Those two people over there wanted to start a fight and got in my face too and made the situation worse.
Regina's story doesn't match that of the other witnesses, but everything will soon be cleared up. The Quick Trip workers have pulled up the security footage, and Officer Peckman goes inside to see what really went down this afternoon. Officer Peckman prepares to watch the footage, and as she watches, so shall we, starting right from the moment that Regina and Brendan first entered the store.
What the fuck?
Brendan pulls a fast one on his mom and slips back into the store undetected.
Brendan, let's go, now. I'm going to give these people a reason to call cops. Let's go. When I say let's go, let's go now. I will call the police myself. And I said I will call the police. When I say let's go now. I will give them. When I say let's go, I mean let's go now. What? Walk out. I will carry you out. Let's go. No, this is my son. I will listen to him.
That's cool, but this ain't the time to.
I don't care.
I don't give a f you care. Put the
Call the police. No, I'm not
Put the
putting
towel
the
down.
cops down.
Put the towel down.
Let's go. Now.
Let him go.
Let's go.
Let him go.
Would you please
Let him go. Put him down.
This is my child.
I don't care. Hey, call the police. Don't. Hey, lock the door. Lock the door.
You're making everything worse. Let's go. Don't say you get your hand off of me. If you let me put your hand on you like that, you stupid. You put your hand on me when you're not telling you. What you gonna do? What am I to do? No, I'm not. Come here. Get me my child. Come here. Where are you at?
What the fuck? That's
The
not...
footage shows Regina throwing her child to the ground, and that will be enough for the police to send her to jail tonight. However, as you'll see, that was only the beginning of the convenience store carnage that tore through the Quick Trip.
And I will be pressing charges against your woman. I got you on video, kid. You stupid. That is not abusing. I'm saying who are you abusing him? No, because you guys intervene. You don't understand the situation.
I'm not gonna let you disrespect no child in my face.
Brandon, we
happy that someone fucking stepped up for the kid, dude.
Frustrated with how this conflict is going, Regina tries a tactic that's already failed once this day. Unable to get what she wants, it's not long before Regina's rage boils over. The conflict has reached a fever pitch, but if you think what you've seen so far is extraordinary, you haven't seen anything yet.
Oh.
Regina's demands aren't getting her anywhere, but when she decides to take matters into her own hands, the insanity goes to a new level. As shocking as that was, the exchange has only added fuel to Regina's fire. She storms toward the door, where she's unable to resist having a measure of revenge. Officer Miller arrives just in time to miss the violence, and back in real time, Officer Peckman has seen enough to make sense of the chaos, or at least as much sense as can possibly be made.
Here's your phone back. Thank you.
Were you able to see on the camera?
Yeah, you get a pretty good view, so yeah.
She was in the wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, to me, it looked more than this.
He does seem to be somewhat of a difficult child. He's obviously got something going on, but you don't just pick up your kid and throw him on the ground.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
The subject of Brendan's difficult nature comes up again, and it's something that Officer Peckman will become intimately familiar with before the day is done. In the meantime, a tentative arrangement is made to send Brendan home with Denisha. However, that plan hits a snag when Sergeant Vance arrives and decides that it might be wise to cover all the bases.
If the child was slowing down, we might have to take the child to the hospital just to make sure the child's not injured in any way. Yeah. Since she did finally throw him down. Okay. I know he's probably not going to say he's injured, but we probably need to at least get him medically checked out. And then if the neighbor wants to go to the hospital, and if it's okay with DHS, if they want to work out something with DHS, that's up to him.
I'll let the other officer know that. She's going to deal with all the kid side of it. I'm just going to get her going. She does want to talk to you. I'll roll down the window, or you want to open the door.
Caught up to speed with what's happening at the Quick Trip today, the sergeant has a chat with Regina, who still has hopes of avoiding jail.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Vance. What?
What's that? I am going to separate myself. This is all my numbers at home, and I can't get a hold of nobody because all my workers' numbers are in my phone. And I'm willing to take full responsibility for what I did. It's just I would like to go home if possible tonight because I don't have a way to bond myself out. And like I said, I can't get a hold of nobody. And I'm willing to take full responsibility. Anything you guys ask me, I'll do all the court dates, everything. If I have a no trespassing charge for the premises, I'll even take it.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I mean, we're not going to be able to send you home tonight.
The prevailing theme of the day seems to be Regina's inability to get what she wants, but there's not much she can do about it from the back of a police car, and despite her menacing deeds, Brendan still longs for her comfort.
I can't hold your hand, baby.
Why?
Because I'm in handcuffs. Okay, you need to go. Go with
what? I want to
I know, baby. Back here. Do me a favor. Be good, okay?
Okay. Are you going to be back in the morning? Yep,
I'm going to try to, okay?
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
It may be impossible to muster sympathy for Regina after all we've witnessed today, but one can't ignore the heartbreak of her child as they're separated. Officer Miller decides it might be best to make sure Brendan doesn't have to watch his mom go into the transport wagon.
Hey, how about I just go drive somewhere else? We can get this kid off the side of the car.
That's what I was going to do.
Yeah. This is not going to be good for him.
For the incoming third watch.
I know, but Mom's gotta go. No, she doesn't. We'll have she doesn't. She doesn't have to go.
Unit 94.
Am I good to back up?
Or somebody take her to the hospital.
Officer Miller drives Regina away from the store, leaving Denisha and her friend to deal with her distraught son. At the same time, Officer Peckman gets a curious update from DHS.
It probably doesn't meet the criteria for removal if he wasn't injured from being thrown down. Yeah, she said she'll email me with whatever her supervisor says, but in the meantime, we're okay to figure out how best to get him to Lutheran, and then he's okay to go home with them, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
I'm going to have to lock him in.
Okay.
He's really
What do you want him to do right with us?
to my house. I'll follow you guys. I can go over there and meet you guys over there. I got to go home and tell my family. I just kind of like pushed my kids in with someone that was there.
Okay.
They don't even know what's going on. I just was like, I'll be right back, you know. I had to come and try to help my sister.
Arranging for Brendan's care won't be as simple as it seems, but Denisha and the police are doing everything in their power to make it work. Denisha promises Brendan that she'll meet him at the hospital, which helps calm him down, at least temporarily. Once he's seated in the back of Officer Peckman's car with Denisha's friend Angelina, however, his thoughts turn sad.
I miss Mom.
Oh, you know what? She misses you too.
I don't want her to be gone forever.
Oh.
Do you draw manga? I don't.
Years.
Regina's sentence is still to be determined, but she immediately makes an impression when she gets to jail.
Alright, let's go ahead and start walking right towards that door.
What is going on?
Yeah, grandpa for short is the bride. No. Have you traveled in life with domestic? No.
Anime a little bit, I guess.
No.
That's when somebody held me down on the floor at QT. So like I said, I can't see my face to see how bad it is.
Intake medical stuff something on that.
Intake medical, can you look one on the female side? Head right through the door.
Everything's no.
I got that part.
With Regina's transfer to the jail complete, Officer Peckman and the neighbors have their hands full with Brendan at the hospital.
Oh my goodness. You want to eat some of your candy? You got a whole bag of candy here. What? Yeah, I don't want you to break that, Brendan, though, because other people need to use it. Other people who can't walk.
There are important people that need to come here to make sure people are safe. Hello? Is that okay with you, sir?
Hey, Brendan, we can't use this phone.
I just want to call Mom.
Okay, baby, then call her.
It works.
Yeah, I know. I get it, but we can't. I know. Hey, don't hit me. I know, bud.
You can't hit.
I'll just have to manage his behavior kind of as best as I can.
Go back inside, honey.
Oh. Yeah, I don't want to break their vending machine.
Unfortunately, it's a busy day at the hospital, and it will be some time before Brendan is seen by a doctor. He does, however, get his vitals checked by a nurse, who asks him about his injuries.
Are you hurting at all? Okay.
Your arm or what's hurting? Your neck hurts? How bad does your neck hurt? A lot or a little?
What is this?
How bad does your neck hurt? A lot or a little?
A lot.
A lot? Does it hurt all the time or just when you're moving it?
That's when I'm moving it.
Okay.
Thankfully, it doesn't seem that Brendan is suffering from any serious injuries, and when Denisha learns that it will be at least 3 hours before he's seen by a doctor, she decides she can no longer wait.
So, due to the time that it's going to take for him to get seen, I'm not going to be able to stand by until he gets seen to figure out like what the results of x-rays and stuff would be. If that's also the case for you, to where you can't wait around for 3-4 hours, whatever it's going to be, we'll just have to call DHS and they'll have to come take custody of him and they'll handle it rather than you. So, I'll leave it up to you.
As it turns out, Denisha doesn't have to choose between staying at the hospital and turning Brendan over to DHS control. Officer Peckman and DHS ultimately decide that it'll be okay for Brendan to wait until tomorrow to get his medical clearance. The child goes home with Denisha, and Officer Peckman puts a very trying afternoon behind her. Though Regina Morris was charged with felony child endangerment, her negotiated guilty plea brought it down to a misdemeanor to go along with her 2 assault charges. On February 14th, 2022, Morris was sentenced to 2 years in prison for the endangerment charge and 2 years in jail for the assault charges. Both sentences stand suspended. Court records do not specify what happened to Brendan, but contemporaneous news reports say he was doing well and in the care of the Iowa Department of Human Services. A no-contact order issued against Regina Morris was also lifted on the day of her sentencing. However, details of the protected individual at the other end of this order has not been named publicly in the records.
Well, I guess that was it for me, because I was gonna end and the video was over. What am I doing? But this is not progress, I guess. I did make some. Okay, I don't know how to do back here. So that will have to be. I don't know how to draw it. Damn it. How do people do this? How do people do this without it looking awkward? What up? Hi. I was just about to end. And then this will be the back, obviously. Don't worry, I'm not bothered. Some people don't have better things. Okay. Okay. I shall end right here, probably. Yeah, okay. I said 10 minutes ago I will end and I didn't, okay, but I will soon. For real, for real. Another video? You know, let's watch another video. Let me find one. From referencing? Well, the design, yeah, the design is the one on the left. I'm drawing a reference. Let me find another video real quick. I wanna watch one that I haven't seen. Oh, wait, oh, it's only 8 minutes long. I wanna watch a little bit of a longer video. I don't wanna watch an 8-minute video. It's kinda short. The most disturbing movies in history, iceberg.
These are some.
Let's do that. Let's watch that.
Some of the most disturbing films ever made in the form of an iceberg. We'll start with the more controversial and strange, and gradually move on to the truly traumatizing and illegal. I made this iceberg myself, and I think I'm scarred for life. Let's start at the tip of the iceberg. At its core, the human centipede presents an idea unlike anything seen before in horror, and for very good reason. The story follows Dr. Heiter, an incredibly intelligent but twisted surgeon living in isolation in the German countryside. The doctor has an obsession that is as grotesque as it is unique. His life work has nothing to do with saving lives. Instead, it's about fusing them together. He dreams of creating a human centipede, and the true horror lies in the specifics of his idea. Dr. Heiter kidnaps 3 individuals and surgically connects them front to bottom, forcing them to crawl on all 4s. What makes it even more disturbing is the plausibility of the idea. Director Tom Six, who came up with the story, claimed he consulted with medical professionals to ensure the procedure could technically work and people could actually live like this. There are 2 other human centipede films, with each one of them being even more extreme than the last, with more death, gore, and a longer centipede. Human Centipede 2 was so extreme that for a time it was outright banned from the UK and Australia, that was later released with certain scenes cut. The Censored 11 are a group of cartoons created by the Warner Brothers during what's known as the golden age of animation. This was a time when studios like Warner Brothers, Disney, and MGM were creating some of the most beloved animated classics. But not all their work was made to stand the test of time. In fact, these cartoons were so controversial that Warner Brothers made the decision to pull them from circulation in 1968, and they haven't been officially released since. Why were these cartoons censored? The answer lies in their content. Unlike the whimsical adventures of Bugs Bunny or the stupid antics of Daffy Duck, the Censored 11 features extremely offensive stereotypes and caricatures of African Americans. One infamous example is the cartoon Coal Black and the 7 Dwarfs. While praised at the time for its fast-paced animation and jazz-influenced soundtrack, its content is more than shocking by today's standards. Black characters were often shown as lazy, foolish, or subservient, playing into harmful tropes that were more common in the 1930s and 40s. In some cases, the cartoons were particularly inspired by minstrel shows. The humor obviously wasn't clever or sophisticated, it was simply mean-spirited and degrading. Set in Sheffield in northern England, Threads follows the story of two families, the Kemps and the
I'm having
Becketts.
second
At
thoughts
its
about
heart
this
are Ruth Beckett and Jimmy
thing.
Kemp,
I feel
a
like
young
it needs to
couple
be
with
bigger,
a
like the one
life-changing
on
decision
top,
ahead
but
of
I don't
them.
know.
Ruth is pregnant and the two plan to marry. Meanwhile, the United States and Soviet Union are on the brink of war after the Soviet Union invades northern Iran. But for most people in Sheffield, these events feel like a world away. Though that all changes when diplomacy fails. Tensions escalate into an all-out nuclear war, and Sheffield becomes one of the targets. When the attack comes, it's sudden, brutal, and utterly unrelenting. A flash of light and everything familiar is wiped out in an instant. Buildings crumble, fires spread uncontrollably, and countless lives are lost in a matter of moments. Threads spares no details, showing the chaos, fear, and devastating loss as survivors struggle to comprehend what just happened. But the real horror lies in what comes next. The nuclear attack is just the beginning. The film dives deep into the aftermath. The government completely collapses, food supplies vanish, and medical care is non-existent. A nuclear winter plunges survivors into a fight for survival against starvation, disease, and radiation poisoning. Ruth survives the attack, but faces an unrecognizable world as she struggles to care for her newborn child, who is born with extreme mental deficiencies due to being exposed to so much radiation in the womb. One of the reasons Threads was so
energy today
was
because
its
it's
timing. It premiered on the 23rd of September 1984, during a period where the fear of a nuclear holocaust was at an all-time high in the UK. The film portrayed the government's responses as disorganized and ineffective, leaving the average citizen to fend for themselves in an apocalyptic nightmare. The graphic nature of the film also
We're just drawing a reference sheet right now for this
Audiences
character on
weren't
the left
prepared for the
side.
sheer brutality of what Threads depicted. Scenes of people being burned alive, dying from radiation sickness, and biting over scraps of food was so realistic that many viewers reportedly felt physically ill. From the moment Zero Day begins,
Only watching some YouTube videos because I need something in the background. I don't like just drawing.
No dramatic
Is that OC?
music,
Yeah,
and no
it's my
indication that what
Sona.
you're watching is scripted. It's designed to feel like
Sona.
real found footage. The story follows two
I haven't
high
really
school
chosen a name
seniors,
for her
Andre
yet.
and Cal, as
I
they
don't know what to
document
call
their
her.
everyday lives. On the surface, they
But
seem like
she's
ordinary
a
teenagers, cracking
pink
jokes,
maid
hanging out,
puppy.
and talking about life. But as the camera keeps rolling, a slightly darker side emerges. In April 1999, two real-life high school seniors, being Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, carried out a meticulously planned attack at their school, Columbine High School. The event shocked the world, leaving 13 dead and dozens injured. What stood out, and what still haunts many, were the chilling details about the attackers themselves. Eric and Dylan had spent months documenting their plans, recording video diaries that came to be known as the basement.
Yeah,
tapes.
me
These
too. I
recordings
watched.
offered a slight
I
insight
love
into their
watching
lives and
Explore with Us.
motivation,
It's
mix
a
of
great
anger,
channel.
alienation, and a disturbing desire to leave their mark on the
So
world.
this is
Now compare
our
that
progress
to Andre and
so
Cal
far on
in
her.
Zero Day. Like Eric and Dylan,
It's
they're
obviously
two
not the
high
same
school
style as on the
friends
left
who feel
side since that's a
disconnected from the
different
world
artist.
around them. They see themselves as
But
outsiders,
I'm practicing
smarter
making
than their
reference
peers,
sheets.
and deeply frustrated with society. As the film progresses, they record their thoughts, feelings, and preparations in strikingly
learning.
similar
I'm working
ways
on
to
it.
the real-life Columbine shooters. They plan meticulously, even testing their weapons and mapping out all of their attack. Though
I'm
the
having a little bit of
similarities don't just stop
doubts
there.
though about
Andre and Cal
the
don't act like
little.
over-the-top villains or exaggerated stereotypes.
I don't know what they're called.
Eerily
Ruffles,
normal. They don't
frills,
appear as
whatever.
monsters. They're people you might know. And in the
We
film,
also need a.
much
I
like
forgot.
Eric and Dylan, they go on to destroy their own high school. But where things get more controversial is the timing
The
of
silver.
Zero Day. Released in 2003, just 4 years after Columbine, the film certainly hit a cultural nerve. By that point, Columbine had become a symbol of a terrifying new era of school violence. Many critics wondered whether it was too soon to create a story so closely resembling the real event, as the film risked glamorizing the shooters by humanizing them. When The Exorcist debuted in theaters in 1973, it wasn't just a movie, it was an event. Based on the best-selling novel by William Peter Blatty, the film tells the story of a young girl named Regan who becomes possessed by a demon, forcing her mother to seek help from 2 Catholic priests. But the reason it's on this list is because what many don't realize is that the horror surrounding The Exorcist didn't end when the camera stopped rolling. In fact, the most unsettling events happened off-screen, haunting the production and those who worked on it. The strangeness began almost immediately after production started. What should have been a normal shoot quickly spiraled into chaos, with a series of bizarre accidents and unexplained incidents that left the cast and crew shaken. The most infamous incident occurred early in production, when a fire broke out on set. Overnight, the entire soundstage for the McNeil family home, where most of the film's indoor scenes were shot, was destroyed. The fire forced the crew to halt production for 6 weeks as they rebuilt the set from scratch. Strangely though, amidst the destruction, one room remained untouched, Regan's bedroom, where the exorcism scenes were to take place. Even the crew, hardened by years in the business, found this detail deeply unsettling. William Friedkin, the director, was particularly unnerved. He reportedly brought in a real priest, Father Thomas Birmingham, to bless the set after the fire. The priest walked through the rebuilt soundstage, sprinkling holy water and performing prayers of protection. Though that wasn't the end of it. Accidents seemed to follow the production wherever it went. Ellen Burstyn, who played Regan's mother, Chris McNeil, suffered a serious back injury during a stunt gone wrong. In one scene, Regan, under demonic possession, throws her mother across the room, and to make the stunt look realistic, Burstyn was rigged to a harness and yanked backwards by crew members. But something went wrong, and the force of the pull caused Burstyn to fall awkwardly, injuring her lower spine. What's even worse is that her real scream of pain was captured on camera and was left in the final cut of the film. Linda Blair, who was the actor for Regan, wasn't spared either. The young actress endured several injuries during the physically demanding shoot. In one incident, the mechanical bed used to simulate Regan's violent thrashing malfunctioned, causing Blair to suffer a permanent back injury. But the accidents weren't confined to just the set. Strange and tragic events seemed to follow the cast and crew into their personal lives. One of the worst incidents involved Max von Sydow, who played Father Merrin, the priest leading the exorcism in the film. Shortly after he arrived in New York to begin filming, Max received word that his brother had died unexpectedly. Other crew members and their families
I have my
also
anime art
experienced
face.
sudden
I now
and
mainly do
unexplained losses
stylized,
during the
realistic
making of the
art,
film.
inking,
In total, at
graphite.
least 9
Ooh.
deaths were linked to people connected with The Exorcist while it was in production, from actors' family members
Oh,
to set
thank you,
workers.
thank you.
The sheer
I
number of
don't
tragedies
know.
only
I don't
added
really
to the
have a
growing
lot of
belief that the film itself was actually cursed.
tips. I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty new,
Level 2 of the
but
iceberg.
what helped me a lot
follows
with
2
the
teenage girls,
lines
14-year-old Megan Stewart
was definitely
and her
having a
best friend,
larger
Amy
canvas.
Herman. Megan is the popular one, outgoing,
And,
confident, and always the center of attention. Though she has a troubled home life and seeks validation through risky
Use
behavior,
smaller
including
brushes.
meeting strangers online. Amy, on the other hand, is quieter and more reserved, often seen as the innocent one, and likes to record much of their lives on her camera. One night, Megan starts chatting with a boy online named Josh. He seems
Oh yeah, the
sweet,
DPI
caring,
as well
and
has to be
very
like
interested in her.
300.
But there's a catch. Josh refuses to show his face on
Because
camera,
it's much,
claiming
much
he
easier.
doesn't have a webcam. Despite this huge red flag,
This canvas
Megan
is
continues talking to
pretty
him, and their
large.
conversations quickly become flirty
And
and personal. Then Megan, still
let me see if I
ignoring
can
all
find.
the warning signs, decides to meet him in person behind a diner. The next day,
I
Megan
did
is
one
missing.
for my
The
friend.
real horror begins when Amy starts to dig deeper. She
I did
records
some
video diaries
character design
expressing
and
her
stuff for her.
sadness over losing Megan and her fear
And
about
it
what
looks
might have happened.
so much more
Though
blurrier.
soon,
This was
Amy
before I knew
becomes the
about the
predator's
DPI
next
and
target.
higher
The film's
quality or
climax is
higher
horrifying and
stuff,
unforgettable.
and you can
Megan's
see it's
fate is revealed in a series of photos
a
found
lot
on
more
disturbing online forums. The photos show Megan being
blurry,
tortured in a
I guess.
dungeon-like room with metal devices prying open her mouth and her mascara-dyed tears streaming down her face. But it doesn't end there. Amy, whilst trying to find her friend, is eventually
Even though this is
captured by
100
the
zoom
same
in,
predator
and this
and
is
then
100 zoom
locked in
in.
the same dungeon
It's
seen in the photos taken by Josh. Josh then assaults her and then informs her that she can leave, but only if she enters a large plastic barrel. Upon opening the barrel, Amy discovers Megan's
but
lifeless body
the
inside. Josh then forces Amy into the
the
barrel with
signs
Megan, seals it, and
definitely
subsequently
helped.
buries it,
And the
leaving
DPI.
Amy to suffocate underground. Due to the characters being teenagers and the scene of Josh assaulting Amy being 3 minutes long, Megan is Missing was completely banned in New Zealand concerned for very obvious reasons. The house that Jack built follows Jack, a highly intelligent but deeply disturbed man, as he recounts the story of his life.
It's definitely worth it. It might take a lot more space and stuff on your computer,
murders, each more horrifying than the last, all while
it's worth it, I think.
twisted philosophy on art, morality, and
it made me
life
feel
itself.
a lot better
He
with my
doesn't just
art.
kill, he sees each murder as a masterpiece, a work of art that he's compelled to create. What makes the house that Jack built so disturbing isn't just the violence, though that's certainly part of it. It's the way that the story is told. The film is narrated entirely from Jack's perspective. You're not just watching his crimes, you're listening to him justify them, rationalize them, even glorify them. The 5 murders, or incidents as Jack calls them, form the backbone of the film, each one revealing something new about him, like his meticulous planning or his growing obsession with perfection. But they're also designed to shock you in different ways. The 3rd incident is probably the most unforgettable moment in the film. Jack invites his romantic partner and her 2 young sons on what seemed like an innocent hunting trip. Jack instructs the boys on hunting techniques, carefully explaining the importance of ethical practices. A moment of extreme irony given what's to come. As the family bonds over the lesson, Jack's true intentions begin to surface. From a concealed position, Jack coldly takes aim at the children and fires at both of them with a rifle, ending their lives instantly. The suddenness of the act is extremely jarring, but it doesn't end there. Jack drags the mother into his fantasy, coercing her into a picnic, as Jack puts it, where she's made to pose with the lifeless bodies of her sons. When the film premiered at Cannes Film Festival in 2018, it immediately caused controversy. During the screening, over 100 people walked out, disgusted by the graphic violence and how the film doesn't spare you any of the details in Jack's brutality. Some attendees openly expressed their outrage, calling it sick and torturous. But while some walked out in disgust, others stayed, and those who endured rewarded the film with a 6-minute standing ovation. In No Child of Mine, Carrie seems like any other 13-year-old.
No problem.
She's a British schoolgirl
You know, it's
living in
a
modest
stylistic
home with
choice
her
as well.
parents.
It can
But
be
as
like
you could
really
have
nice
guessed,
if you have
beneath
like
the surface, things are far from
paper like
ordinary. Her life is already
line art and
turbulent,
stuff,
shaped
and
by
then
constant
color
arguments
digital.
between her mother,
I think
Linda,
that
and her
that style
father,
personally is
Jim.
very
When her
very
parents
pretty.
finally separate, it might seem like a relief, but for Carrie, it's only the beginning.
There used to be an
After the
artist I
separation,
used
Carrie
to
stays with
watch
her mother,
before
hoping for some sense of stability.
and
Instead,
do those
Linda
kind of
brings a new boyfriend,
styles.
Graham, into their home, and it quickly becomes clear that he isn't there to help. Together, Linda and Graham
Their name was
subject Carrie to
Quinny, I
relentless
think?
physical abuse. Graham outright
And
her, and her mother also forces her into performing
it was
very
very,
illegal acts. Carrie can't take it anymore, and desperate for safety, she turns to her father, Jim, believing he'll give her the refuge
very cool.
she needs. But
Very nice.
soon her hope is also crushed.
Sorry,
Instead
I'm
of
a little bit
offering her a safe
tired.
haven, Jim betrays her in the worst way imaginable. Jim seeks to use his daughter for profit by letting truck drivers borrow her for a fee. Her teacher, Paul, becomes aware of her struggle and tries to place her in protective care, though the Crown Prosecution Service deems the evidence insufficient and the case is dropped. Carrie is then placed into foster care, where she struggles with behavioral issues as she destroys property, eventually
You gotta go
getting
to
her
bed?
removed.
Okay.
She's then moved
Thank
into
you for
a care
being
home where
here.
the cycle of abuse continues, where a social worker at the home starts to abuse her too. But finally,
The
out of
fuck?
desperation, Carrie runs away for the final time and discovers a small, peaceful care home in a rural area. Despite initially being mute due to trauma, she gradually begins to trust the staff and shares her story. Although her abusers evade legal consequences, Carrie finally escapes the cycle of abuse. The film concludes by revealing that she pursues a higher education, and the film was based on a completely true story. This film is probably
Whoa.
the only one on this iceberg with a slightly more happy ending. Though again, I still don't recommend you watch it, as it's probably the most emotionally draining film you will ever see. When it comes to disturbing films, there are many that push boundaries, but few have left audiences as shaken as Concrete. It's a Japanese crime drama that isn't just extremely graphic, but there's a horrifying truth behind it. The film tells the story of a young woman's tragic fate at the hands of a group of teenagers. But to truly understand why Concrete is so disturbing, you need to know the real-life tragedy it's based on. The film is essentially a retelling of the horrific 1988 murder of Junko Furuta, a case that left Japan and the world in shock. Because it wasn't just a murder, it was a crime so cruel, so incomprehensible that it defies explanation. Junko Furuta was a 17-year-old high school student from Misato, a medium-sized town in Japan. She was described as intelligent, kind, and with the dream to become an idol singer. But in November 1988, her life took a devastating turn. She was abducted by 4 teenage boys, one of whom had connections to local organized crime. And what followed was a 44-day ordeal of unimaginable suffering. Held captive in one of the boys' homes, Junko endured relentless abuse. The boys tortured her in ways so brutal that the details remain hard to even comprehend. They beat her, starved her, and burned her with cigarettes, and they forced her to endure acts of humiliation and violence that no one should ever have to suffer. Even as she begged for mercy, they showed none. What makes this even more horrifying is the role of others. The boys' families, neighbors, and even acquaintances knew something was happening but did absolutely nothing to stop it. Some were even complicit, turning a blind eye to the very obvious signs of abuse.
Yeah.
After weeks of torment, Junko finally succumbed to her
Yeah.
injuries. Her body was stuffed into a concrete drum and discarded as if her life had meant nothing. When her remains were discovered months later, the public's outrage was overwhelming. The crime led to massive media coverage about the failings of society and the justice system. Though here's the
Pretty
detail
fucked
that will
up.
stick with you. Junko Furuta's murderers received shockingly light sentences for their crimes. Because they were minors, they avoided harsher penalties, and some were released from prison only after a few years. The injustice of it all added another layer of pain for Junko's family and the public, making this case one of the darkest chapters in Japan's modern history. Concrete really doesn't shy away from showing you the grim details of Junko Furuta's ordeal. The filmmakers chose to depict the events with an almost disrespectful level of detail, leaving very little to the imagination. A film that starts like any other low-budget horror film, but ends with something so shocking, so unexpected, that it leaves you questioning whether it's even legal to watch. That's the film Snuff in a nutshell. A movie whose ending transformed it from a forgettable exploitation film into one of the most infamous controversies in cinema history. Essentially, Snuff follows a group of women caught in a bizarre, violent cult in South America. These women are targeted by a Charles Manson-like figure and his band of devoted followers. The plot dives into the gruesome violence and chaos you'd expect from a 1970s exploitation film, with plenty of over-the-top gore and uncomfortable scenes meant to shock rather than entertain. For much of its runtime, the film doesn't stand out at all from the hundreds of others of its kind. The dialogue is clunky, the acting is terrible, and the production values are laughably low. But then there's a twist. Just when you think it's over, the screen flashes back to what appears to be behind-the-scenes footage of the film itself. This new footage seems unscripted, raw, and unsettlingly real. In this infamous scene, the camera lingers on a woman being brutally murdered by the film crew. It doesn't feel like acting. The effects, though cheap, are convincing enough to make you wonder, am I actually watching a real murder? The sudden shift from fiction to supposed reality is what made Snuff so unforgettable. For many viewers, it didn't seem like just a movie anymore. It felt like they had stumbled upon something they weren't supposed to see, and that's exactly what the filmmakers were counting on. When Snuff was first filmed, it wasn't even called Snuff. It started as a completely unrelated film called Slaughter. Like many films of its kind, Slaughter was destined to fade into obscurity. But then something unexpected happened. Enter Alan Shackleton, a savvy producer and distributor who saw an opportunity to make the film infamous. Shackleton acquired the rights to Slaughter and decided to give it a makeover, or more accurately, a new ending. He hired a small crew to shoot the separate scene, a grainy, shaky depiction of what appeared to be a real murder happening on the film set. The marketing of the film was as shocking as the title itself. Posters proudly declared it was made in South America, where life is cheap. Shackleton's team leaned into the urban legend of snuff films, underground movies that supposedly feature real murders captured on camera. When the film was released, it quickly caught the attention of the public. Feminist groups, including Women Against Violence Against Women, led protests outside theaters condemning the film's apparent glorification of violence against women. Ironically, their outrage gave the film even more publicity. Shackleton knew exactly what he was doing. The controversy wasn't a side effect, it was the product itself. We're now moving on to level 3 of the iceberg. A film so convincing that its director was
sorry if I'm not
arrested and
talking.
put on trial for
I'm
murder.
just
That's exactly what happened to
enjoying.
Ruggero Deodato, the man behind Cannibal Holocaust. Released in 1980, the film tells the story of a group of young documentary filmmakers who venture deep into the Amazon rainforest to capture footage of the indigenous tribes there. When they fail to return, a rescue team goes to find them and discovers their film reels, revealing the shocking truth of what had happened. The plot might sound straightforward, but Cannibal Holocaust is anything but. The movie is presented in a found footage style, where much of the story is told through the recovered tapes. This format, rarely seen at the time, made it feel like an authentic documentary instead of a scripted film, as viewers left theaters wondering if they had just seen actual events unfold on screen. But it wasn't just the raw style alone that fooled people, it was the extreme lengths the filmmakers went for authenticity. Deodato pushed his cast and crew to act as if they truly had vanished. To keep the illusion alive, the actors signed contracts agreeing to stay out of the public eye for an entire year after the film's release. No interviews, no public appearances, nothing. To the world, they had disappeared without a trace. The group of young filmmakers had been brutally tortured and murdered by the uncontacted and barbaric tribe. One of the most controversial aspects of Cannibal Holocaust was its use of real violence. Yes, the human deaths were staged, but the same can't be said for the animals. In multiple scenes, real animals were killed on camera, not with special effects, but with actual brutality. Perhaps the most infamous example is the scene where a giant turtle is killed by the characters in a lengthy, graphic, and disturbing scene. Crew members later admitted that filming the scene was deeply uncomfortable for everybody involved, but the director insisted it was necessary to create a sense of raw authenticity. But it wasn't just the animals, even the actors were subjected to extreme conditions for the sake of realism. In one scene, a woman's body is impaled on a wooden stake, creating one of the film's most iconic images. While it was a special effect, the setup was so convincing that it left audiences horrified. The actress had to sit on a bicycle seat hidden behind her with a piece of wood in her mouth to make it look like it was piercing through her entire body. Then, the unthinkable happened. Authorities in Italy, where the film premiered, launched an investigation. The violence in Cannibal Holocaust looked so real that they suspected Deodato had orchestrated actual murders. The media exploded with rumors that the movie was a snuff film. The reason why I told you the detail of the actress sitting on the bicycle seat is because Deodato had to show how that stunt was done in court, as it just looked so convincing on screen to both the police and general audiences. In hindsight, one of the most funny moments of the trial was when the director had to bring his actors into the courtroom alive and well to prove they hadn't actually been killed. After its release, over 50 countries outright banned the film, making it one of the most controversial in history. When the Twilight Zone film was announced in the early 1980s, it promised to be a groundbreaking project. It was a chance to bring one of the most iconic, imaginative television programs to the big screen. Fans of the original show, which explored eerie, thought-provoking, and sometimes downright terrifying stories, were thrilled. John Landis, hired on to be a director, was also extremely excited. With the Twilight Zone film, Landis wanted to prove that he could do something even bigger and bolder, as he was making something unforgettable, though certainly not in the way he thought he would. Landis was given the chance to direct one of the film's 4 segments, titled Time Out. This segment told the story of Bill Connor, a bitter and racist man who, after a drunken tirade in a bar, finds himself trapped in a nightmarish series of time jumps. Each jump places him in the shoes of someone who has experienced the oppression he so casually dismissed. First, he's a Jewish man fleeing from the Germans during World War II. Then he's a black man about to be lynched by the Ku Klux Klan in the American South. And then finally, he's a Vietnamese man hunted by US soldiers during the Vietnam War. The story was meant to show Bill the pain and fear his own racism had caused others in history. For the climax of the segment, Landis envisioned a dramatic redemption arc. Bill would rescue 2 Vietnamese children from a war-torn village, risking his life to save them as explosions and gunfire erupted around them. The scene was meant to show Bill's transformation, a man who had learned the value of compassion through the horrors he had endured. But this ambitious sequence required a level of complexity rarely attempted at the time. It involved massive pyrotechnics, a helicopter hovering dangerously close to the action, and most controversially, 2 child actors playing the roles of the Vietnamese children. Landis's vision was bold, but his approach to achieving it would prove dangerously reckless. On the 23rd of July, 1982, the pyrotechnics were ready, the helicopter was in position, and the actors were in place. The 2 child actors, Mika Din Lei, who was 7, and Renee Shin Yi Chen, who was 6, were hired despite numerous violations of California child labor laws. Not only were they working outside of legally permitted hours, but there were no permits to authorize their involvement in a scene involving explosives and helicopters. These decisions were made under the radar, with Landis and the production team disregarding the legal requirements to avoid any delays. When filming began, actor Vic Morrow, who's playing Bill in the film, hoisted the children in his arms and waded into the water as instructed. The helicopter, piloted by a seasoned Vietnam War veteran, hovered about 25 feet above them. Landis had insisted that the helicopter fly lower so that he could get the perfect shot. As the cameras rolled, everything seemed to be going according to plan, but then disaster struck. One of the large pyrotechnic explosions detonated too close to the helicopter, destroying its tail and causing the pilot to lose control as the rotor blades sliced through the air erratically. In mere seconds, it crashed directly into the river where Morrow and the children were standing. The rotor blades struck Morrow and Micah before crashing into Renee. All 3 of them would lose their lives. Many on set believed it was the direct result of Landis's insistence on pushing the limits. His demands for bigger explosions, lower helicopter passes, and tighter shots had overwritten safety protocols and was very likely the cause of their deaths. A Serbian film starts with Miloš, a retired adult film star living a quiet life with his wife, Maria, and their young son, Petar. His career is behind him, but the family is struggling financially. But then comes an offer that seems almost too good to be true. A former co-star, Layla, introduces Miloš to Vukmir, a wealthy and mysterious filmmaker. Vukmir offers him a starring role in what he calls an art film, promising a huge paycheck enough to secure his family's future. There's just one catch though. Vukmir refuses to tell Miloš what the film is actually about. At first, Miloš is hesitant, and who wouldn't be? But the thought of providing a better life for his family convinces him to accept the deal. He trusts that, whatever the project is, it can't be too far outside his past experience. After all, he's worked in a controversial industry before, and how bad could it really get? Things start off strange, but just about manageable for our main character. Miloš is sent to a dark room where an actress performs a special act on him. Though taken by surprise, he looks up and sees a little girl watching the whole thing take place. This obviously disturbs Miloš, but then Vukmir invites him to watch one of his earlier recordings, and what he sees is beyond anything he could have ever imagined. A graphic scene of a newborn baby being moments after birth. Vukmir refers to this as newborn, a term that leaves Miloš horrified and sickened. He tries to quit right there and then, but Vukmir doesn't take no for an answer. Instead, he has Miloš drugged with a substance that clouds his judgment and leads him basically to become Vukmir's plaything. Under the influence, Miloš is no longer himself. He's manipulated into committing unspeakable acts on camera, acts that he would never agree to if he were in control of his mind. It's not until Miloš wakes up days later, confused and with no memory of what happened, that he begins to piece together the horrifying truth. He finds and watches the footage of what he was made to do, but he realizes that on camera, he had been forced to violate not just strangers, but people he deeply cared about, his own wife and son. The revelation destroys him, leading Miloš out of grief and not being able to live with himself any longer, to not only end his time on Earth, but the lives of both Petar and Maria too. The final scene delivers one last blow to the viewer. The scene begins with the camera lingering over the lifeless bodies of Miloš and his family as they lie together in bed. Then the silence is broken. A group of men enter the room. Their demeanor is cold and businesslike. These men, it's implied, are part of Vukmir's production team, and they aren't there to mourn the family. With one of the men unzipping their trousers, an instruction is then heard. Start with the little one. The meaning is painfully clear, as Petar, the youngest and most innocent, will now become the main prop of whatever horrific production comes next. In 2011, at the Sitges Film Festival in Spain, Ángel Sala, the director of the festival, faced criminal charges after choosing to screen a Serbian film. Authorities accused Sala of exhibiting child simply because of the film's highly graphic and controversial scenes. For a time, it looked as though Sala might actually face serious consequences for his decision to show off the film. However, after further investigation, the charges were dropped and Sala avoided any legal penalties. The controversy didn't stop there though. During a premiere in Munich, Spasojevic, the film's director and one of the film's producers, found themselves in very hot water. Following complaints from audience members about the film's explicit and violent content, the pair was detained by local authorities. And the complaints were serious, as some viewers really believed that several heads had been cut off during the making of the film. Spasojevic and the producer were arrested and questioned, although they were later released without facing formal charges. Philosophy of a Knife isn't your typical film. It doesn't follow a hero, a villain, or even a clear plot. Instead, it drags you into one of the darkest chapters of human history and doesn't let you go for over 4 hours. The film is based on the horrifying real-life experiments conducted by Unit 731, a secret Japanese biological warfare unit during World War II. This group carried out literally unthinkable acts of cruelty, using humans
Okay, I think that I'm disturbed. I don't like this video. I think that's enough. Because what the fuck? What the fuck? I think I think I'm done. I think I'm done. That was just so messed up. I don't know. Ugh, no. Okay. Yeah, it was pretty fucked up, dude. I think I'm done. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. EP time, it is EP time. I'm just gonna I completely forgot about this. I'm just gonna finish this part, which is the hair. And then I think I'm done for today. I don't know. I did not like, especially the last disturbing one that they were talking about. It was just very weird. And honestly, I don't know. Disturbing. Which I guess is the point, but you know, too disturbing. I mean, yeah, it wasn't a title, but you know, I wasn't expecting it to be, you know, that bad. You know what I mean? Would it be better if I just don't have the hair at all? I don't know. Unconsensual bald. Oh god. Well, I mean, I don't want the hair to be covering because then it like covers the colors. Wanted to. Okay. Yes. Yeah. This is how it looks at least. It's good progress. We did the backside kind of ish today. So we are getting closer to the end. Ignore the knees because there's obviously no knees. This is the back. But what if two knees? No. 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 No two knees. This is supposed to look like the back, I guess, of the... Why does my thing keep on doing that? What if 3? No, this will be 4. Look, I hate this and I don't get why it does that. Okay, finally. Like, I want to finish this, but I also don't. I also want to go to sleep, you know? Not that it even has to be finished today, but you know. You know. I mean, it's my own character, so I can finish it whenever I want. You will still be there tomorrow, you're right. Doing it. Look at this shit. Why is it doing that? I am so confused. It's only in Clip Studio that I have this issue. Ugh. I am confused. Big confusion. Well, we have made a lot of progress. I shouldn't upset or anything. No upset. I think it's a good progress, personally. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. I will be going now. I am tired. It is 3:13 a.m. My landlord is sleeping above me, so I should going. Yeah. Okay, I see you guys. I might do a stream tomorrow on Twitch. Haven't made my schedule yet. I'm thinking about doing a Monday stream. Good. Give my marixa my love. We'll give you her love tomorrow. She was gonna come here tomorrow. And, we're gonna be playing some Mario Party together. Well, she won't be on my stream. I won't be playing Mario Party on stream. I'm just gonna be playing it off stream with her. That's what we usually do. We just play some Mario Party and stuff. When she comes here, because she usually wakes me up and stuff. Today she didn't come here, and I woke up at almost 2 p.m. She normally wakes me up. Oh, mom. Yeah. Okay. Well, I feel like I've made good progress. I'm satisfied. I want to give her a little tail too, though. Maybe here. Here. We could have a tail. It could be like woof woof. A woof woof tail. Woof woof. Woof woof woof. Yeah. The parent alarm clock, it's different. You know, I always leave my door unlocked and stuff, and she just walks in and it wakes me up because Holly keeps barking. Damn long tail. Yeah, you needed to like be going like because happy dog, happy dog. You know what I mean? Damn, I really enjoy yapping with you guys. Keep yapping. Well, oh well. Maybe I should add the bell, you know? The bell to here. And then whenever she wags her tail, you would hear a bell sound. You could hear whenever she's happy. Ideas. Ideas. I bought this design and I don't know if I'm gonna like maybe just resell it. I love it a lot, but I'm already a VTuber, you know. I don't have anyone, or I'm not gonna, you know, rebrand again. But I also really love this design. I don't know. Maybe I can make it into an outfit someday. And see what I do. Be more VTuber. Should I be multiple VTubers? Should I make a different channel and be like, hey, this is definitely not Marixa. I am a different VTuber. Yeah. Should just be like, I don't know. I'm not that, you know, big of a VTuber. People probably won't find me. I don't think it's easy. As with the big VTubers. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what I do. If you ever see this design. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna rebrand or anything, guys. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I'm not gonna do it. But, we'll see what I end up doing with her. It's good practice, though. It's good practice making a reference sheet. Yeah, she's very cute. Very good practice being able to make one. Maybe I can take commission sometime. I'm not done with the reference sheet, obviously. Need to add like color palette and maybe a side view. We'll see, we'll see. But yeah, good progress. That is the progress for today. And I'm happy with it. I've tried to unstream like 5 times now. I'm doing it for real now. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Good night, guys. Good night. Bye. 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 Bye.